healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Stellar development. Purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new Gans plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural, balanced, energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural, original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balance fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists, and healthcare centers. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
We are the Keshe Foundation, Knowledge Seekers Australia. A diverse multicultural group of people spread across this big country down under in the Southern Hemisphere. Since the beginning of the Foundation's online teachings 8 years ago, our knowledge seekers have been learning.
We understand our body, the plants, the world we live in, what is matter, what is the sun. It just changes everything. Science, biology, physics, chemistry, whatever we've been taught is going to be put upside down in a totally different thinking, which will make sense, because if some science has to be true, it needs to be true across all aspects of it. It needs to be able to explain everything in the universe, how our body works and how the universe works, then it's a correct science.
We're going to just have a little chat about the health and how we can use all these Ganses and the different nano tools and stuff to understand, okay, our body is a collection of fields that we've established now. We are a plasma, and so how we can use the fields to help ourselves. So again, we are just made up of billions of Ganses forming a total plasma. Because we're not a solid like a table, we looser. So you consider this is the other form of matter that we don't really understand. We are now a Gans because we are looser and we have the structure is wider apart. And so this is why we have so much more energy. If you check us, we've got millivoltage, we can, and so we are putting out and taking in fields all the time.
Applying. Developing. And teaching plasma science to our local communities, family and friends. The paradigm shift we've all been waiting for is now a reality. Plasma science and nanotechnology provides us with the knowledge and tools to achieve peace and prosperity for everyone. Get ready to join the galactic community and journey to the stars.
No Brasil, o grande divisor de águas aconteceu quando o Sr. Keshe esteve no país em novembro de 2019 para uma conferência na capital, em Brasília. Na ocasião, o Sr. Keshe decidiu criar um ponto de unificação da Fundação Keshe e dos buscadores de conhecimentos do Brasil como uma grande família. Assim, iniciou o primeiro grupo oficial no Brasil, com a finalidade de compartilhar a ciência do plasma. Hoje, esse grupo no Telegram tem mais de 6.000 pessoas e, tendo em vista o contexto que vivemos, passou a ser chamado Keshe Brasil Corona Team, focado em compartilhar o conhecimento sobre o copo da vida. O Sr. Keshe sempre cita a relação dos ensinamentos de Zoroastro com o ethos da Fundação Keshe, que é pensar o bem, falar o bem e fazer o bem. Nós estamos aqui para servir e não para sermos servidos, e buscamos sempre seguir essas orientações no Brasil e nos esforçamos para espalhar o conhecimento da maneira correta através dessa base sólida. Eleva a nossa alma ver o serviço incondicional dos buscadores, aqueles que procuram ajudar por causa do vírus. Às vezes, há apenas algumas poucas pessoas trabalhando e, mesmo assim, elas não desistem. Fica aqui o nosso muito obrigado a todos vocês, buscadores de conhecimento e voluntários, por salvarem tantas vidas no Brasil. Isso é o que a Fundação Keshe está trazendo para a humanidade. Não apenas uma nova ciência, e sim uma nova maneira de viver nossas vidas de forma pacífica. Milhares de pessoas estão abraçando essa nova ciência aqui no Brasil e estão ensinando por todo o país. Este conhecimento é livre e é compartilhado livremente. Cabe a nós participarmos deste processo, porque nós somos a Fundação Keshe TV e somos nós que faremos este futuro brilhante acontecer. Keshe Foundation TV, onde a ciência encontra a alma do homem para a paz.
We are in Brazil for the past few days for the conference, and it would have been nice to see all of you. We hope we bring the new technology to all of you that you can share with your rest of nationals and be like we are, free for sharing the knowledge and spread the ethos of the knowledge. And thank you for supporting the foundation. Thank you.
মহাবিশ্বের রহস্যময় অজানাকে ধেয়ে চলছে বিজ্ঞান, তার নাম অ্যাডভান্স সায়েন্স। কি সেই অ্যাডভান্স সায়েন্স? পৃথিবীর সকল প্রান্তে থাকা বাংলা ভাষাভাষীদের মনন এবং সমৃদ্ধ সংস্কৃতির পথে আসুন পরিচিত হই নতুন ধারার এই বিজ্ঞানের সাথে। KF টিভি বেঙ্গলি প্লাজমা সায়েন্স।
প্লাজমা বিজ্ঞানে আমরা পদার্থের নতুন রূপ দেখি, সেটা হচ্ছে ন্যানো এবং গ্যান্স। এবং এই ন্যানো এবং গ্যান্সের মাধ্যমে আমরা ম্যাগনেটিক এবং গ্র্যাভিটেশনাল ফিল্ড অথবা ক্ষেত্র তৈরি করতে পারি। এগুলো দিয়ে আমরা কি করতে পারি? এগুলো দিয়ে আমরা অনেক কিছু করতে পারি, যেটা এখনকার ফিজিক্স, কেমিস্ট্রি এবং বায়োলজিতে যা করা সম্ভব না তা ম্যাগনেটিক এবং গ্র্যাভিটেশনাল ফিল্ডের মাধ্যমে করা সম্ভব, এবং এটা প্রয়োগ করে আমরা নতুনভাবে স্বাস্থ্য, কৃষিক্ষেত্রে এবং আমাদের পরিবেশ সমৃদ্ধ করার জন্য এবং মহাশূন্যে ভ্রমণের জন্য নতুন ব্যবস্থা করতে পারি।
বিশ্বে এক বিকশিত বিজ্ঞান যাত্রার নাম প্লাজমা সায়েন্স। তা ছড়িয়ে দেই বাংলা ভাষাভাষীদের কাছে তো বটেই, পুরো বিশ্বময়।
গ্যাস পদার্থ নাড়াচাড়া করে যেসব মানুষরা, তাদেরও স্বাস্থ্যের জন্য এটা খুবই উপকারী। সুতরাং এটা হচ্ছে এবং এই গ্যাস ছড়ানোর ফলে পরিবেশও সুন্দর হয়। সুতরাং এখানে কারো কোনো ক্ষতি হচ্ছে না, সবারই উপকার হচ্ছে। এখানে কোনো
বিজ্ঞান হোক শান্তির পতাকা হাতে সরল পথের যাত্রায়। KF টিভি বেঙ্গলি বাংলায় প্রতিনিধিত্ব করছি কেশ ফাউন্ডেশন।
Днес плазмените наука и технологии променят фундаментално разбирането ни за всичко. Тези знания ще променят начина ни на живот и отношението ни към природата завинаги. Затова балансираното разпределение на ресурсите може да стане реалност и да доведе до световен мир. Така човечеството получава възможността да намери решение на всички глобални проблеми. Разбирането на плазмената наука спомага личностната градация и постигане на вътрешен мир. Това несъмнено ще даде отражение на света отвън, нашия дом, планетата Земя. Плазмената наука и технологии е базирана на взаимодействието на различни магнитно-гравитационни плазмени полета. Те образуват мощни енергийни потоци, които могат да се манипулират и да се предоставят там, където са необходими. Плазмените технологии ще доведат човечеството до нова ера, променяйки света на медицината, селското стопанство, транспорта и други. Тези революционни технологии позволяват направата на продукти и приложения с безсрочна годност, които да се използват десетилетия.
Welcome to the KF community in Canada. Knowledge seekers from across Canada are using Gans plasma technology in many ways. We use plasma technology in agriculture to enhance the plants by balancing the environment. Abundance creates the conditions for peace. Keshe Gans Environment Balancer for outdoor use only. After years of research and months of perfecting the innovation in the Keshe Gans development, we are introducing to you now the latest Keshe Gans products. Keshe Gans Levitating UFO Speaker Lamp. The sound and light passing through the layer of well-distributed GANs on the UFO and its platform will bring out the plasma fields and create a balanced environment in your home or in the office. It has a 15-meter range for sound. It's a levitating Bluetooth speaker for best listening to Mehran T. Keshe's plasma workshops and teaching. Keshe Gans levitating moon lamp. Gently shake the moon lamp to distribute the inner GANs materials. The light passing through the layer of the well-distributed GANs and the moon lamp and its platform will bring out the plasma fields and create a balanced environment in your home or in the office. K-Plasma Care GANs Soap Bar. Practical and time efficient. This stress-free combo is all you need for a plasmatical experience with the new handmade Gans soap bars. One cup, one life suit. After years of research and months of perfecting the innovation in the Keshe Gans development, we now introduce to you the latest Keshe Gans products. Easy to use and highly effective. Our new Keshe Gans plasma products bring back the balance to your body, emotions, and soul, creating an environment for you to enjoy, reducing the stress and relieving your pain. One Cup, One Life was released through the first emergency relief in China and works on the white tissues of the lungs and the brain. Thank you for watching the initial presentation of Keshe Foundation TV Canada. Please join us in the pursuit of peace and service to humanity and for our next presentation.
Il plasma, uno stato della materia, una forma di energia che connette il visibile all'invisibile. È la sostanza del Sole, della Terra, dell'universo intero. È la sostanza che ci compone. C'è una lingua nel mondo che accomuna da sempre navigatori, esploratori, inventori e scienziati. L'amore per la terra, per il buon cibo, per l'arte. Il plasma che ci permette di creare ed esplorare il potenziale umano.
Il metallo nanocoperto, per questioni di trattamento, è un metallo che assume caratteristiche particolari. Perché? Tramite una botta termomagnetica forte, che può essere una fiamma sul metallo portata fino a un determinato punto, cosa succede all'interno del metallo? Il metallo si scalda, eccita le particelle che lo compongono, incomincia a vibrare e quindi vibrando allarga le maglie della sua struttura.
Questa maschera con le Gans.
E noi, oggi, nuovamente ricercatori e scopritori del plasma, per imparare a conoscerlo, ad utilizzarlo per un bene comune. Noi, ricercatori della Keshe Foundation Italia.
Aħna Keshe Foundation Malta. Inna nsegwu l-Keshe Foundation mill-2008. Wassanna l-messaġġ ta' talim fuq it-teknoloġija Keshe għandna nies minn kull oqsma tal-ħajja jaħdmu fuq il-plasma technology. Ħadna sem f'żewġ konferenzi ġewwa l-Italja u rejna l-ewwel proġett Malti bil-kooperazzjoni mal-Industrija Maltija. Għallimna t-teknoloġija tal-plasma fis-skola tal-Gvern il-Fortini u esebejna proġetti tal-istess studenti fl-MCAST. Nar tal-2020 Keshe Foundation għamlet konferenza hawn Malta investu ġo pajjiżna fabbriki tal-prodotti ta' din it-teknoloġija ġdida.
Kif niġbor is-sewtu mill-arja u jibqa' frank. Tallimt nagħmel plasma water, tallimt kif nipproteġi li nnifsi u l-annimali. Id-dinja minn ġewwa hija tallimt kif id-dinja għandha gravità u l-atmosfera. Tallimt x'inhi plasma u li fiha x'ġofija li hija l-vera kalamita. Tallimt kif nagħmel il-patches. Tallimt kif nagħmel l-infinity loop. Tallimt kif nagħmel il-nano-coating li ġi superconductor. Malma jintallim din it-teknoloġija, jien tista' titgħallimha wkoll.
Malta se jkollha l-opportunità li nxandru din it-teknoloġija bl-ilsiem Malti grazzi għal Keshe Foundation TV Channel.
2:1. În interior aici avem gaz de oxid de zinc, 6 ml, și corespondentul lui este în exterior aici, gaz de oxid de zinc, 3 ml. Aici pe exterior avem gaz de CO2, 6 ml, iar corespondentul lui avem în centru aici gaz de CO2, 3 ml. Și se face interacțiunea între cele două. Și asta fiind de putere mai mare, alimentează pe cel de putere mai mică. Dacă se vede.
Se vede. 1200?
Da, 1200. Crește.
Vedeți o primă structură care este capabilă să creeze încă o structură în jurul nostru protectoare.
Da, punct de protecție în jurul tău. Tu pui doar mâna pe dispozitiv și imediat se creează una de protecție.
Și eu controlez cele două câmpuri.
Realizate 3 stacăre în modelul cu o singură conexiune între gravitațional și magnetic.
Deci structura asta după masă o controlăm cu mâna stângă, trebuie să se ridice, o controlăm cu mâna dreaptă, trebuie să se coboare, da? Să capete greutate. Pe asta se bazează, se va baza structura viitoare a controlului în prima fază.
Se va forma statul nano-nuclear și sub aceste prinderi de plastic. Deci noi recomandăm, dacă puneți ulterior, riști să lezezi un pic statul nano.
După toate testele de astăzi, este foarte important ceea ce facem cu sufletul și cum comunicăm cu sufletul. Și de asta va depinde și viitorul planetei, viitorul nostru, a ceea ce vom deveni mai târziu.
Hello everyone, this is Keshe Foundation Romania, a part of it, and as you can see, our wish is our command. Thank you for all, bless you all, and we hope we can contribute to the whole understanding of this technology. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you, everybody. Bless you all.
We hope we are ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 373rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, March 25th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'm a host today, and of course, we're hosting Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, and here he is to present today's Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers KF SSI teachings. It's the first time we transmit these teachings on the KF TV, and as usual, there are some teething problems, but we're gradually getting there. We welcome you to your television, and we try to keep the Thursday morning live as usual, but not ever it will be the same. We try sometimes, if it's possible, to be in the studio, sometimes outside, but in so many ways, we share knowledge unconditionally and together. It's taken a long time to get to this point, and as you've seen, the recordings slowly start getting loaded up on the television channel this week. And gradually we build it up to a full-time 24 hours television. And in a way, it's not just as a recording that you can go onto, but it has a schedule that you can come in through according to your language, or if you want to be in English, when there is a transmission in that language. It's a midway between what we call television and what we call internet on demand, which means on every week, every certain hours, the language appointed will release their video or their program for 1 hour, including the news, teaching, and testimonial. And this will be kept that way, which means everybody will be updated every week. It's the same as what we do on Thursdays and Tuesdays. Now, the languages will have a time slot. This already will be published on the screen that you can follow. In so many ways, the progress and the development of the Keshe Foundation technology now is taking shape in a very rapid way. You have seen the Keshe Foundation has opened up on Amazon. Keshe Foundation, the 3 famous books will be released on Amazon in a way to be built to some of the bestsellers, as it has been. Now it can be poured internationally. The Keshe Foundation website will be revamped, and what we call the Keshe Foundation platform for products, as a platform that all the knowledge seekers around the world can put their products on the server in conjunction with the Keshe Foundation for their own national language and sections. We are building one nation, one planet as a full structure from every aspect. There is no priority, and there is no somebody second in line. Everybody gets an equal chance. You are a participant in developing this television station and the rest of the Keshe Foundation. More or less, as I said, from 21st of March, I stepped down from the day-to-day running of the Keshe Foundation, but still stay in charge fully over the whole operation and organization of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. I have accepted certain positions and certain responsibilities, which takes me beyond the position of the Keshe Foundation, but allows the Keshe Foundation to be recognized internationally. In due course, we will explain the position I accepted, and you will hear it through the Keshe Foundation media system. We had to do this to take shape and take responsibility for our position internationally. Keshe Foundation University soon will be announced in conjunction with a major university where we teach inside within the university. You can go to the country, you can join and learn and develop the technology. As you have heard, Keshe Foundation soon will open the responsibility for the understanding of the technology through international means. I'm a nuclear physicist. I'm a great advocate of nuclear technology for deeper space. It is my responsibility to bring the knowledge of nuclear in a new way as a plasma technology and not as a weapon technology. In deep space, we cannot work, we cannot live without understanding of the nuclear interaction and nuclear plasma technology and radiation. We'll be wiped out. And secondly, we will not have the knowledge to be able even to take off from this planet. As I explained before, the Keshe Foundation and backing of number of governments, we move into bringing a nuclear technology back on the scene as a way to space and not as a way to weapon. I have accepted certain positions, as I said, which pushes me internationally to teach and literally bring a new side of the nuclear industry into the horizon of the man's understanding and move the nations from weapon into a space program through nuclear interaction in plasma reactors that gives us the fuel to travel the span of the universe. We cannot tank oils and woods and everything else into our reactors to be able to travel. We have learned the way the creator works. We have learned the process of creation, how celestial stars and entities move within the universe, hundreds and thousands of kilometers, millions of kilometers an hour. Now we apply that technology, and this brings us to one point. When you can travel at these kind of speeds, as I said, any point on this planet becomes second travel. Within seconds, minutes, you can be on one to another. As the Iranian article by the government announced, the newest space technology allows man to land on moon within minutes flight from Earth. So you understand the Iranian nuclear physicists and plasma technology have breached that barrier, and now we want to share. In the coming weeks, we announced the first international conference of leading space scientists and plasma scientists in Tehran. This will be done in conjunction with the Iranian universities, and this will be held live with the scientists present in the auditorium. In Iran, we have curved and understood the process of corona, and we will use it to show and demonstrate that the corona, as far as the Iranian understanding of technologies, is over, and we allow openly for people to attend. No masks, no cover, because we secure the place. The way now is done in China and in Mahalat city in Iran. We had to wait for the transition time of the government, and once it takes place, the conference in Tehran will be announced. First of all, we'll have a 3-day conference with the Iranian scientists, and then on the back of it, international conference in Tehran, live with the scientists around the world, not only explaining the new plasma technology, but bringing humanity to understand the nuclear industry of the plasma and space technology of the Keshe Foundation in conjunction with the Iranian scientists and the rest of the world. We open the arena of conferences with a confidence that we have the solution, and what we call the enhancement units will be demonstrated. And at the same time, the Corona report will be published very soon internationally as a hard copy in bookshops, hopefully, and on Amazon.com, Keshe Foundation. We strive to bring the technology forward. As I said, it is all of us, from India to Africa, to South America, to North America, to what we call Israel, to Iran, to China, to Australia. Every corner knowledge seekers are. We will go and we understand the technology in a deep meanings of technology. It's a collective work, and all of us have to, step by step, support each other in every way to bring this forward. As you have seen, we have managed to set up a temporary studio for the Keshe Foundation TV, which very soon will move to a permanent place with all the facility of what we call an international television station. In so many ways, we are asking for the support of the knowledge seekers. And as we said, we start releasing people we need to be employed by the Keshe Foundation to cover these positions. For the new station, we need at least 2 people with the experience in producing and editing and are knowledge seekers who understand the knowledge. It's not just a film to do. They understand the essence of it. If you are in that position, you can speak English, that you can communicate with us, please write to info@keshe.foundation and put in bracket editor producer. You'll be moving to Linz permanently to reside here, and we pay standard wages for the process. This position needs to be filled very rapidly, as there's a lot of things and a lot of other videos and recordings are coming in, and we need to do it. I have spoken with the head of the Keshe Foundation Television, Neil, this morning, and we are officially advertising these two positions internationally. Secondly, as you know, our education side, KF SSI, is rapidly growing, and you're all teaching. Keshe Foundation, with the help of the knowledge seekers and member of the Universal Council and the groups who support us outside, has reached a position to set up a curriculum for the schools. A well-known international curriculum writer from government of, or what we call from our knowledge seekers from Greece, she has accepted to write the curriculum, which is acceptable by the government, as this is her job. And now we're asking for a number of knowledge seekers who can write with her the theoretical side, as she makes the knowledge of the technology of plasma fun for children in the school from age of 3 to 5 to university. Maybe in the near future, we extend these teaching curriculums to what we call university level, as will be done in Iran. We need knowledge seekers like Emmanuel in Malta and some other teachers who can help and write this theoretical side, that the what we call curriculum writer can translate it into the practical, or what we call physically children being able to do everything with the Ganses and everything else that they can learn in a what we call a school environment. The first two schools in Italy will be used for this test, hopefully in the coming weeks, where the teaching of the Keshe Foundation will be as part of the additional curriculum accredited to the studies, which means in a way by September, these will be part of the school curriculum. That means the student can take an extra subject, being the Keshe Foundation Plasma Technology, and all this will be run by the KF SSI Education side, which means we offer these curriculums to all the education committees around the world. We thank especially the knowledge seekers in Greece who have set this up for us, at the same time as the other knowledge seekers who set up with everything else, especially the Universal Council members. This is part of the work which has started, and in a process, we develop more to be able to move into the next phase. We have had a very good news in the past few days. One of the knowledge seekers has donated financial support for the purchase of an enhancement unit and a vertical unit to be donated to any nation which is needed. We have spoken to the donor, and we have spoken to the nation to receive it. And as the ethos of the Keshe Foundation, we have supported 1-to-1 by the donation of the 1 enhancement unit and 1 vertical unit. Keshe Foundation supports 1-to-1. We have offered the 2 units to the nation which we agreed, and respectively, we agreed instead of 1 nation having 2 units, we have donated the 2nd unit of Keshe Foundation to a 2nd nation. So now, thanks to the what I call donation of one of the knowledge seekers in the world, 2 nations, which there was no possibility, more or less remote, to receive such an advanced technology, now they receive it like it does with Arizona and the rest. We, as received the donation, I call the donor and I said, Keshe Foundation is not another church. Keshe Foundation is not another temple that we hold money. I would like this donation to be used for helping and supporting. And we have gradually brought the understanding that the investments we receive will be spent on the Keshe Foundation. And so we have moved the resources provided for this purpose to knowledge seekers, to those who need, and expanding the knowledge beyond borders. in a way, is like a family. When you see one of the members of the family are in need of something, or you can help them live a bit easier life, you support them in the background. That's what we done. I thank the donor, and I thank both nations who receive us through the members of Universal Councils, the donation by the generosity of the donor. We do not release names and positions, and it's open. If you want to donate for this purpose, Keshe Foundation receives directly into the what we call Stichting the Keshe Foundation in Holland. In so many ways, Keshe Foundation has started moving in a beautiful way, the way we wanted to, and in a way that we are achieving. In a very short time, we announced more development. And as the factories take shape, we are expecting Mexico to come into operation in the next week or two. We expect China will come to a new position of agreement with the Chinese authorities in the next couple of weeks. We have received a massive support donation of 100 million from a government that allows us on their donation to open 2 major factories around the world. This is a governmental donation to the Keshe Foundation support, and in due course, we announce the donation which we have received is to be confirmed completely in documentation. And in that process, Keshe Foundation for the first time has received a 100 million cash donation support in conjunction with the government to establish not in the country of donation to outside the country of donation. There is a possibility once this takes shape, it will extend it to more structures. Again, I thank the organization and the government in making such a donation, and it will take a few months for everything to take shape, contracts to be signed, but it has come from one of the leading nations in the world to support the Keshe Foundation to set up a structure parallel for every factory. They asked us we set up outside the country, a factory will be set up inside the country in parallel. So if we set up 10 factories with their support around the world in the next few years, we open 10 factories inside their nation, 1-to-1, very much the way we did with the enhancement unit. I thank the leaders of the nation, and they know they're online. We thank them for their support. Once this takes shape, you will hear, we will announce in conjunction with which government. The Keshe Foundation has broken through in a very large way. And in so many ways, this process of teaching, education, and everything else now is taking shape. We expect to open Nigeria very soon. We expect to open our second position in Austria within the next few weeks. And everything is taking shape for the Keshe Foundation to truly become an international organization in the front line. As I said, it seems that there was a need for a television channel and the start of the process that we share everything correctly with everyone else, that the world nations start responding from knowledge seekers to government. As I said, when we received the offer of 100 million for 2 projects outside the country and 2 projects inside equal amount, it was in a way confirmation of the technology being accepted by the nation. As I said, I thank the leaders and the organizers of the process for us in the country. As you have seen, Keshe Foundation does not hide, but as it goes through, we announce more developments and more structures for development of the technology that all the nations around the world will be the same. In so many ways, we go back to the original teaching. We go back to where we started. As I explained to you from the last few weeks and past few months, coming in March 21st, we start the teaching on the structure of the books, the way the books are set to be, and why the books were released in the sequence. We taught about the book in a very easy way. You're all familiar with these 3 books. You are all have seen, bought, or read these 3 books. But now there is a new dimension. As I said, everything in the world of creation is the same. It's just that to level up our understanding. Now we have come to a new level of understanding using the 3 books. Book number 1, Creation of Matter. Book number 2, Structure of the Light. Book number 3, The Origin of Universe. Just slight change. Book number 3, The Origin of Creation, the Creator. What we call the principle, what we call the center, what we call God, what we call the creation, where everything started from. In a transfer of what we call the transition through the light to another dominion and dimension in the universe, at certain point in the state of the what we call magnetic gravitational field strength becomes the matter state, the creation, the visible, the what we understand. Then we understand from creator to man. Now we understand the transfer of the fields, and this is where the new technology and new teaching starts. How the fields of the creator in traveling the depth of the universe which he has created end up with the creation of man. In so many ways, the universal order of universe, the creator, the structure the creator transmits his love and his care, and the way he manifests himself as man and not matter. Maybe now we all understand what does this mean. It is, as I take the capitals, the ultimate love for man from the creator. In so many ways, we understand now through the process and in the teaching to come, how we learn the fields of the creator has ended up with the man as part of the fields of his creation. In so many ways, the same book, as I said, if you read this book with different understandings, you will come to understand totally different meaning. But the same book, change the name, the origin of the universe, the origin of creation, the creator. How did his fields, the vision of his strength in development has led through the transfer of fields of itself to creation of man. How have we come to become part of it? But we lost the connection. We never saw ourselves in that position. In so many ways, mankind with a new intellect and a new understanding has to come to understand he is part of us as we are part of him. We transfer knowledge, we transfer technology, but in reality, it's his knowledge, it's his technology, it's his understanding of the creation in how we interpret the extension of the knowledge from creator to creation and from book to book. In so many ways, we do not make any difference. It's just that how we understand it according to our intelligence. In so many ways, the story of the origin of life, the story of the origin of the magnetic field, the origin of the creator was written in the first book, second book, and the third book. And in so many ways, now we understand. We start teaching from the point of the man point of view, the matter, and how it can transfer itself to reach the level of understanding of its creator. And now we start the process and how the fields of the creator has led to creation of man. The same as what we said, the principle, which is the origin, the creator, the transition, where his fields will end up, and the creation of man. The man, in so many ways, has become to understand he is part of the creator. It's him that in essence, by reduction in fields, has created us. We have led to the creation of maybe some others in the time to come. There is no end. There is no finish. There is no deadline. There is no day of promise. There is no day of judgment. Everything is a sequence of events, of interaction of the fields. And in some, the fields travel the span of universe in different strength. And when at some point manifest themselves as man, then for a short time, through the interaction of the field of the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man and the man itself, we may dictate a little movement of the little field somewhere to pick up a bread, to meet somebody somewhere else, to create another life as a very little deviation or in a process of life of the fields of the creator. In a way, when you are a body, you don't control every cell in the body because it's set in automatic production. But if any harm or any pain comes to one cell in the furthest point from your body, on your toe or your finger, you feel it and you do something about it. You make steps, you take steps to heal it, to recover from the damage has been done. This is the same with the creator. The creator, as part of his extension of his existence, feels the pain of the man in what he has done to himself and the pain of the creation on this planet. And this is why the way when you have a wound on your toe, you plaster it, you put ointment on it, you look after it till it heals. That's why the creator has taken a step to heal the process of the pain of the man and the creation on this planet. There is no difference between the creator and the man in the direction of physicality of the pain and love and the rest. The way we nourish our children and we give them love, we create children for us to love, that through our love, they love the creator, is the same way by the creator. We are created as a children of him in a way for him to nourish and to love. And mankind has to understand this step. Mankind has to understand the way in a physical structure, as we are a collection of dynamic fields we call the human body, and we looked after every cell of it, the creator does the same. When it comes to the point of love, he loves his creation and he gives like a father to the child. And when he says something is damaged and needs to be repaired, he takes steps to heal it, to bring it to correct way, that the other organs do not fail, the other parts can function properly. If you have a damaged toe, you limp and you don't let the rest function properly. You do something to heal it. And this is the process. That's why the creator and the creation runs, and the way creator has decided to heal that damage which mankind has inflicted on himself and its community as a citizen of this planet. And this process of healing has taken place thousands of years. To the creator is not a second I'll do. To the creator, I repair it, that it doesn't happen again. And when it happens, it heals itself. It doesn't become an infection that continuously stays on, but I correct it from its root. I correct the soul of the man, that the man works in the essence of creation. This is where the new technology and the new teaching of the Keshe Foundation will take us. To the essence of understanding the process of the creation, understanding the love of creator, the way we protect and we love our physicality. In so many ways, the new teaching we take step from today on is how we connect from the created to the creator. How we take steps to become part of understanding the process of the creation. Mankind needs to be kind to itself first. In so many ways, we take steps to understand this process. In so many ways, we take knowledge from the creator and decipher it. We open the knowledge in so many ways that we can understand what it means to be part of the creator. And if he is perfect, how can we create a perfect man? The process of the teaching takes a new shape and dimension. As I said, understanding the process of how we've been created. and how we've gone through this transition of over billions of years for the field of the creator to reach, to become the man for a very short time, to manifest itself in a dimension of physicality, where the soul of the man will take dominion in a dimension of the universal condition that transfers the knowledge of the creator, the love of the creator, with a new energy center, what we call the soul of the man, across to another dimension and position in the universe, that in that dominion will manifest itself maybe as a plasma of the fields, maybe as another star, maybe as another center point that it leads to creation of another cycle for the manifestation of the creator at the point and the time and the place through the love of the creator. In a way, we take the energy from the food, which that is again essence of the creation itself from creator, and we transfer it into the blood, and we take it from one position to another to manifest maybe at the strongest point as a cell of the heart. And then when it weakens, we transfer that energy to another point to become the cell of the lung. And then the body takes that energy to another point to transfer to become the skin of the man. The one thing that the knowledge seekers have to understand, the process of the biology of the man is the process of the creation from the creator. Nowadays, we say when the cell of the man had 28 days, then it goes. It doesn't go. Body is the most efficient technology center in the universe. When a cell in a strength built from the top, when it reaches the level of is used that the strength cannot hold if it's a cell of the ball of the heart, but it does not get rid of that cell. Doesn't get rid of the energy of it. It has put a lot of effort to make it. So what it does, it transfers that energy to another cell level lower, but the highest level for itself. This is what has not been understood in the world of the science and technology and biology, where we just speak about the kidney, we speak about the intestine, we speak about the leg or a muscle tissue of the leg. But the body doesn't go and get rid of everything. No, the body starts at the highest level in energy with the strongest, and then as it goes weaker, it takes it to another position. It's a second-hand use, it's a third-hand use. Us as a whole, we are the millionth hand use of the same energy magnetic field. So there is nothing different in the process of the creation of the creator. As the creator reduces in the strength of his distance from his source, does not get rid of the energy. It transforms it to another creation, another position in the universe ready for the next creation. We call it the liver, we keep reserves. It's the same in the work of the universe. We have stars and galaxies, which are the reserve tank of the universe. No different than the body of the man. Now, when it's needed, we transfer this through. Mankind has to come to understand the micro and macro in the world of the creation is the same as the world of the man. It's a replication, but in different strength. But in essence, it's only one man. And in essence, it's only one creator. We are creator of the cells of every cell of our body. So is the creator in creation of every being within the structure of his physicality. But there is one major question that needs to be answered. Is there only one creator? And if it is, who confirms his existence? Or is it a collection of creators that their collection collectively create the true creator? Are we part of a structure of existence of one body that it shows a confirmation of existence to another? What is the other that confirms the existence of this? The world of theology hits the rock at this point. But if you understand, in so many literatures over past thousands of years, we have called it Eve. We have called it the essence of existence of another that confirms the existence of the creator. which created out of the original that it confirmed the existence of, is a neutron, which then become a proton and electron. Is that electron the Eve, or is that electron to confirm the existence of the proton? The love of the woman confirms the love for the man which gives to the woman. Then, if such a presentation is acceptable, then it comes, is the unicos, the child of the presentation of the two, the children of the Creator, and we are part of the organ of one. As I said, the truth sits in the structure where the Creator itself has created. In so many ways, mankind has to become to understand the truth in parallel with understanding the technology, the ethos of life, the ethos of understanding the totality. How far we go to understand the Creator depends on our approach to understand our own creation. Mankind cannot sit and watch and just come up with any theory which he cannot prove. The reason we released these 3 books and we keep it to the 3 for the time being that the man matures is because man has to understand the totality of the process. Mankind has to understand that from now on, how do the energies from every dominion from the strength of the Creator has led to creation of galaxy? What strength has led to creation of it? And how do we work with it? If a galaxy is a liver, how do we operate with it? This galaxy, does it take energy? Or this galaxy does give energy? This galaxy in a cooperation with other galaxies as a cluster make a kidney, where this galaxy is only one cell in that kidney. Now mankind has to understand this, that it allows him to travel different space of the universe and guarantees existence. The new understanding of the science of the space in understanding the totality of the physiology of the man is the physiology of the Creator. How much he cares to produce and to look after every cell, every galaxy, every star, every planet, and every living things in those planets, which is created out of his own strength, is the same as responsibility of the man. The way we look after our nail, our hair, our posture, our skin, our single cell that is always in perfect condition. The Creator reaches and demands nothing but perfection. So is the man to himself. The process of understanding this will be very hard for some, and some will grasp it with a flick of a finger. Because those who are ready will go through the transition of understanding which fields which read will give them the opportunity, and which fields will give them and open a chance for them to move closer to the Creator. This is what I said in a way in preparation in the past couple of weeks. It takes a second for anyone to understand the position and the direction to the Creator as we are connected to Him as He's connected to us. As I said in many teachings, we see stars because we see them as they feel the strength, as they feel the strength of the vision of us. But within the soul of us, we have the vision of the Creator. It depends if we want to look at the Creator. If we see ourselves a servant to the servitude of His services around the universe and the unicos, that we become part of Him. To look out, not within, to be a giver, not the selfish collector. We receive as we need, but the reality is the same structure of the Creator. In so many ways, in the new cycle of teaching, we teach you how to make that cell of the toe. We teach you how to become the cell of the heart. We teach you how to become the cell of the soul of the Creator, that in essence you become the totality of the creation, as through His soul leads to the creation of the emotion of the Creator. In so many ways, the new cycle of teaching will bring mankind to question his integrity and his own identity. In so many ways, mankind becomes wise to how kind he is to the kind of man he wants to be. In so many ways, we see ourselves as the intermediary between the Creator and what our souls will create in the future to be the beauty of the Creator. How beautiful you want that, what you create to be. That is your soul. This is understanding of the totality of the creation. I made man in the image of myself. In so many ways, I make man in the image of the love of myself. In so many ways, mankind reaches through the new position to find himself and his society and his planet, what kind of life we will lead. In understanding of this, many of us will fail, or we see ourselves as a failure. But if we reach that point, we have reached a point of maturity that we have found our weakness, and in how we can use that to become the strength for us to reach the Creator. As I said, it takes a second, milliseconds of a wish of a soul, the true soul of the man, for his wish to become reality. Do not look at the time span, look at the end result. Many knowledge seekers, they say, how do we see our soul? Look why you are at that position in your life, to ask yourself that question. What has brought you to the point of maturity to understand this, that what is my purpose? Which cell am I that my creation and what is created out of me as the soul of me will lead to be the perfect part of the Creator in the time to come, the day of judgment. What would I like to be? What would I like to see to be? In so many ways, the new process of teaching changes many things. In a way, with the enhancement unit, with the Gans technology, with nanotechnology, we showed you the way. Now is for you to understand how you can use these processes to reach the point of elevation to where you want to go to. This is why in the past teachings I kept on referring to let the gases go, understand the field transfer, understand what fields are, because these gases are like little suns. And in that process, we can fully understand the process of the creation. In that process, we decide where to go and how to be able to teach our understanding to the others, not necessarily by the words. Words and sound is the attribute of living man. We have to learn the knowledge of the universe, the language of the soul, the language of the interaction of the plasmas, which we call the soul of the man and the soul of the Creator. In so many ways, we have to come to understand in reality where and how we go and what we see and what it leads to our creation. In so many ways, we cannot see, we do not understand the process. But in so many ways, we have to come to understand what the creation is and what we need to do. We see what mankind will bring to us to understand for us to be what kind of the man we want to be. In understanding the totality, we come to understand the reality. How we came to be from one atomic structure, molecular structure, to a process of a separation to call nano, and then a process of the Gans. And then from that process, what we see and what we have and what we understand is very simple. We started with you with the process of molecular structure. Then we taught you the structure in the phase of nano. If you look at it, we came as a molecular, as a totality of the man to the next step, as what we call the creation. And in that process, we came from collective to individual. And then we added the Gans technology to it. And if you look, we went from total physicality to separation to be a collective loose, but understand it, then becoming a Gans. And in a way, if you look at it, what is the next step? The next step is nothing but the field of creation in the line of the dimension connection to the creator. In a way, if I put this one here and I put this one here and show you this, what it is, the matter state, the man, the transition to the creator. And in so many ways, the fields of the Ganses is the path to the creator. If you understand how to collect it, how to connect with it, and how to develop it. And the process of the creation in the coming weeks and months is this. In so many ways, I showed you something very simple. And in that process, we spoke about a cup of life. Cup of life is the fields of the life which brings man to that point of interaction. The way life is and the way life connects with what we call the creator. We have to understand this process if mankind is to move to the next level of creation. If mankind is to understand its own purpose on the creator. In so many ways, do we want to stay in this level or would we like to proceed to this? And the fields of this, which lead us to the dimension and dominion of the creator. In so many ways, does what we call in the background, you see as a material enhancement unit, is a way that changes the man from the material state to the level of the fields of the strength of the creator. This is where the knowledge will come to be. This is where mankind has to understand to be physically in touch with itself. Then now you understand where I take you in the coming teaching. Try to show you the path in a strength of the field of the creation and the creator and see where would you like to go. Would you like to become another moon and then another life which comes from the lower level of the moon, further away from the earth, in a way that we further from the, in a way, strength-wise to the sun, and from the sun position in the galaxy? Or would you like to take a path directly into the galaxy and become part of the unicos independently? The strength of the field of the man is the power of the knowledge of the man, in how to manipulate, in how to understand the technology in the essence of the creation. The new teachings, which starts from today, as we said, is the beginning of the change, is the beginning of us to understand ourselves, and with this will come new technologies. Zero-time communication, zero-time travel, zero-time emotion and feeling of understanding of creation. In the coming days, when you see the new enhancement units will be released, we can set the unit in lens and we can control it with our thoughts and emotion in South America. Every plasmatic unit, every enhancement unit will be controlled not by a central computer as you imagine, but by a system and a technology that we control with our emotion. In the past few days, I have taught this to the research center knowledge seekers, that we do not need to be, if you understand the process of the connection of the fields of the plasma. In so many ways, we have to understand in two ways. We take in the world of fantasy, of dreaming, or we take steps in understanding how we can create dimensions of reality and existence using the present knowledge we have, because mankind wants to see. Mankind does not want to create materials that he cannot do anything with it. The enhancement unit for what we call material is that material the man itself. Are we creating the creation of life through the enhancement unit material? Do you want to produce gold, or do you want to produce a cell of man? Or do you want to produce the energy strength that reaches you to the center, closer to the creator? Many times I explain the point will come where you will see a light in this box, where the soul of the man interacts with the fields of the creation, and in that point enlightens. The knowledge and the technology of today will change. The new tools, the new equipments, the new systems which will introduce in coming time through understanding of the transportation and elevation of the soul of the man to a higher level will change the man's industry and the world of work. We create jobs to keep man busy, not to be mischievous, but to serve better. In the past, the governments kept people busy that they could control. In the coming time and from future time, we create so much joy for man to exist that man will have no opportunity to think of mischievousness. In a way, to create war needs planning, and to create peace needs love and understanding. Two different things, two different points. We show our power with the expansion of the technology. And this is what I said to the Iranian leaders. We take the process of the peace and the distribution of the knowledge by the horn from Iran, and then we take you through. In the next week's teaching, we show you for the first time what we call the Temple of Mitra. It still exists. And the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers in past 2 or 3 days have been there. They've taken a video of it that you will see Mitra wasn't a mythicism. Ahura Mazda wasn't a mythicism. The Universal Council for Iran, of Farsi language, is in that area today, and in past 2 or 3 days, and they're videoing what you call it a Mitra. To us, as Iranian, is the reality of the temples and worship of the beauty of the Creator. In that process, we understand where everything comes from. What is the love of God, and where and how we become the lighting, shining, what we call Mitrites, bright lights in the sky, in the universe, and not in the atmosphere of the earth. The new technology and the enhancement units application, which is coming into horizon, and you will see in the development of the new technologies, will take man to the new horizon. Will take man to understand even these systems do we need, or is it an intermediary process for us to be able to travel the span of the universe? In so many ways, does mankind need to know more to be able to take that step? When we know more, we lose our fear of what we didn't know before. And in that process, that's where we come to. We need to understand the process of the creation. We need to understand the process of the Creator, conversion of his fields to us as created, that we lose our fear and the abuse by the others, not only in the name of the religion and theology, but from those who we meet in space. As we take us, we know nothing, they can take us for a ride. As I promised from the beginning of the teaching, I take man into a space that he'll be equal and not subordinate. And for that reason, the next phase of teaching, which starts from today, is that phase. To be the true man of life, and not only one cup, one life. To be collection, to be a collection of knowledge of Creator. In so many ways, today's teaching is the beginning of the phase of transition for man to know his Creator. You feed yourself With the knowledge, you go to school to understand more about your physical condition and the environment and whatever you believe in to understand more. You eat the best food to create a healthy body. With a new teaching, and starting from today, we teach you how to educate yourself with the knowledge of the Creator by yourself and no intermediary, because we show you the keys and the ways, and we show you how to absorb energies of the universe to be able to reach that point by yourself. But no one can be intermediary and no one may abuse you. The love of the Creator is for the creation, and I love you so much in totality. And in that process, we spread the knowledge of the Creator to the created. But you have to understand there are two ways, two paths. You can nourish the physicality to confirm the existence, and you can nourish the soul to confirm his true soul. In a way, I made man in the image of myself. As I have the soul, and man is part of my creation of physicality, so is man in the dimension of physicality, and his soul to control and develop and to love more. In a way, from now on, we go on two tracks. One track is the knowledge of the creation and the creator, and one track is how to look after the physicality that stays perfect in serving the creator in the dimension of the soul and the physicality of the man. In so many ways, the breakthrough which you all thought will become the end of the world, it will be the promised day, it will be what we call the end, and the beginning is today. Because now we start a new cycle. The end has come and a new beginning starts. In a way, mankind moves from being in a dimension of physicality and the fear of existence to the dimension of immortality, understanding the creation of the creator. In so many ways, do I love myself, or am I part of the loving process of the creator to love all? And in that process, do I need to hold on to everything I have in the dimension of physicality, or do I give everything that in that process, through my soul, I accommodate for the others to reach that point? In a way, if you look at it, I become this system. My soul, my existence become this system to elevate the other souls which come within me. I'm just a tool. In a way, it's the way I lived and the way I live. In so many understandings, we still need the physicality of fields, not necessarily tangibility, to be able to elevate the other souls that within us, within our energy, they become that light inside, that they reach the perfection closer to the creator. And this is the purpose of the creation. This is why we come as messengers, to transfer this knowledge for man to forget the dimension of physicality, but understand physicality is part of the process for it to reach the creator. In so many ways, the teaching from now on is, as I said, a dual way. You are in the ocean of the fields of the universe, and at the same time, you depend on yourself to become that meteorite, to shine in the skies of the universe, not in the horizon at the night of the earth. In so many ways, detachment, it doesn't come by talk. Detachment comes by understanding the totality. In the past years, we tried to explain the depth of the knowledge through books. Now the book comes within the soul of the man. The book comes with understanding of how mankind will be kind to himself, to take himself to any point of transition as he wishes. In so many ways, we dictate the future of ourselves in the development of the new technologies, in understanding the process of the creation. And in so many ways, do you want to be the cup, or do you want to be the water in that cup? Or do you want to be the fields in that cup? As the man drinks the cup, the fields of his creation leads to the totality of the creator. In so many ways, mankind has to come to understand one point. Do I want to be this water? Or do I want to be the fields of the water? that from it, I can lead to creation of further life, to bring comfort and satisfy the thirst of knowledge and the soul of the man. The reality sits in a very clear direction. Whichever you choose, the process of the creator will be done. You might delay it with a few seconds in your life or very little in your time. But in totality, when you drink that water, the essence of the satisfying the thirst will be satisfied by every cell of the man instantaneously, not for the time that the water is digested by the body of the man. And that's the feeling and emotion that we strive to create for you to understand, to be that water and not the bottle. To be there to transfer the fields of the love of the creator, unconditional what is put in that water or where that water is put. In so many ways, in the very recent past, we explained this in a very, very simple way. We gave you what we call the cup of life, the energy within a cup. But at the same time, we did not choose and became selective. We gave the same thing to a plant. Which one would you like to be? And does it matter to you which one you give your life to or the energy of your existence of your life? In so many ways, how do we see ourselves? And in so many ways, how do we want to be? In so many ways, doesn't matter, you feed the man or you feed the plant. Are you elevating the soul of a plant or are you elevating the soul of a man? Doesn't matter if this cup has been left and drank by a cat or by a bird. Which one do we choose? Or does it matter if in this plant you grow a rose or a thorn? Now, mankind has to make that decision. Now, mankind has to understand the totality of the purpose of its creation. In so many ways, we showed you the cup. We showed you the vessel. We gave you the water, and we gave you the understanding of the fields of its existence. In so many ways, we do not know where we shall go. And in so many ways, we need to know in which way we will transmit and transmute our fields of creation. In so many ways, doesn't matter if you're the cup, or you're the water, or you're the energy which is embedded in the cup, or you're the energy which is embedded in the water, as long as you serve the elevation of the soul and the elevation of the physicality of the man. The question is simple. You, as man, like to see magics to believe. And in a coming time, we'll bring you the magic. Because then the magic convinces you you can elevate yourself. The magic will convince you you can reach the level of understanding your creator. But the magic is you and not us and the tools we bring. We just show you how to get to that point and how to reach to the point of elevation. In so many ways, our teaching and new teaching has just started. We work with you for nearly 10 years to get you from the matter state to the light and to the field. And it'll take me thousands of years to take you from man to the soul of the creator. And that change has started from today. And this is what we call the promise day. The promise for man to understand his creator and not for him to be judged if he's done good or bad. In a way for you to understand the next phase, to understand the beginning, we stay humble amongst men and we live amongst them because it's the only way we can share the knowledge with man. But we choose the time and place and we choose the essence of the creation. This process from now on cannot be stopped. and this process shall never be stopped, as is the same process as the rest of the creation in the universe has gone through, and mankind now reaches the level to be able to start that journey. Except one thing, there is no one who knows more than you, and there is no one who can teach you more than you. You teach yourself through the strength of the soul of the Creator, as now you understand you have access to Him direct, and there is no need for intermediaries. There are those who are guardians to show you the way, but there are not those who dictate you the way. There is a big difference. Make sure in understanding the process of the creation, you understand the totality of the Creator, not what you envisage and not what you dream to be. You shall never see the Creator with your own eyes, as the eye is the eye of physicality, but you feel His presence, as in essence, He is the emotion of the soul of the existence. In so many ways, mankind will become mature to this point, to love unconditionally, which means to give in the essence of living, but not to be carried away that I love so much and I don't get enough. What you received is the totality of what you could absorb. This was the totality of point of maturity. It's you who has to open the next level and travel to the point of understanding that where the next love comes from and what would that bring me. Would it bring me to point of maturity, or am I to love more that in that process I receive to mature? Mankind will learn the way of the creation and the Creator in a very, very short time. As every week and every explanation, we try to bring it more into understanding level of the man at the point of maturity of himself. Many of you were waiting for the time of resurrection. In a way, today is that day, because we have resurrected your souls to be able to understand yourself and your creation and the process the way to the Creator. In a way, we awaken your souls, which is the path to your Creator. In a way, there is no need for messengers, where the message is with the man itself, within his soul. You have to find that path. You have to find that process. You have to understand. In the Keshe Foundation, we bring you the tools to be able to satisfy that thirst, the knowledge, the systems that it might give you that step up to elevate your soul and the physicality to mature in understanding of totality. You don't need a degree from university to be a PhD or a doctor, and you do not need to be a street sweeper or a farmer or a peasant, or what I call street cat. It depends on the point of understanding and the maturity of the man in how that process of the existence and closeness to the Creator and the path of living understood by the man, be it on this planet, be it in depth of the space, or be it in another universe, in the dimension of the Creator. It is, in a way, important for us to understand this, as the process of the creation will become much easier for mankind, that you have to decide which path you take. You want to go, in essence, to understanding of the totality from man himself to his soul, or you want to choose the dimension from your soul to the dimension of the soul of Creator. The physical way will take you billions of years, and physicality of the man will not last that long. But the maturity of the soul in one instance will take you to the Creator. In so many ways, mankind has to understand the totality of the creation in all dimensions, and not only in his imagination. You have to choose which way you want to go. In the Keshe Foundation teachings, as knowledge seekers, we teach you both ways. And it's for you to decide. In so many ways, mankind will understand the totality of the creation by the dimension of strength of his own belief in servitude and nothing else. I hope I open your eyes into a new dimension and a direction which the Keshe Foundation will take. This is the beginning of the spring, and the beginning of the spring in the knowledge of the man and the direction to the world of the unicos, where we make you part of universal community, where that community in reality is the creator, created by his field. How closer you want to be close to the center of the creation within the universal community is the community which you create yourself through the strength of your soul. And with it, in giving, in loving, you receive more and you understand more. In so many ways, we go through the process of understanding, going in understanding of the totality. In reality, is mankind ready for this journey? It's taken me years to prepare you, and for thousands of years to set the scene. Now it's time to make that day, the day of judgment, the day of move where the man judges himself to travel with his soul or physicality, knowing the dimension of physicality is temporary, where the soul of the man will take flight in the world of the creator, in the dimension of his field and his strength. As I said, maybe you understood. When we receive a donation, we call the donator and we ask, you decide. As the Keshe Foundation will not hold to make temples and churches and Vaticans to hold money while the others starve outside the door 20 meters away. What comes to us will transfer to the others, as the wealth of this planet worth nothing. As we can produce as much wealth as man could never imagine, as the man is a cell in the toe of the creator, and the heart of the creator is nothing but gold. So which one do you want to have? As we are within the gold or within the heart, or to be that cell, which one to be away? Think about what is being taught today and listen to it, because we set the new scene. We have set the new direction, and it's for you to decide. Now that we are free to teach without restriction, if we get and if we understand the truth of the knowledge, mankind will take new dimension. We are halfway through the teaching of today, and in that process, we would like to go through a break, and in that process, we listen to some commercials, take a break, and we come back to answer some of your questions. But remember one point. Is mankind ready to be kind to itself to take that dimension? And it's for you to decide if you want to go through the path of physicality and break very soon, because physicality has a measure according to the environment and the strength of it, or you take the path of the soul, where you interact and receive from the universe, and you give from the universe to exist in the dimension of the soul of the man. We go for a break and we come back and we start trying to answer some of your questions, if there are any. And I hope you're mature enough that there will be no question in finding the path to the Creator.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. This is the 373rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and we'll take a few minutes break here and be back. So stay tuned.
Meu nome é Ariane e eu tive suspeita do Covid-19. Eu fiquei em observação no pronto-socorro porque eu estava com falta de ar e não tinha o teste para confirmar. Então eles fizeram um raio-x e alguns exames de sangue, onde constatou pneumonia e insuficiência cardíaca, dentre outras. Eu respirei com a ajuda de oxigênio medicinal e nessa etapa de isolamento eu tomei muitos remédios, fora os que já foram jogados fora. Os sintomas, eu tive muita tosse, dor de cabeça, dor no corpo, fraqueza, moleza, falta de ar, febre de 40 graus. Então, eu recebi a doação da água com Gans, que foi muito importante, me ajudou muito. Eu tava com muita tosse e eu tomei uma única vez. Claro que eu continuei tomando, mas a primeira vez que eu tomei, em 2 dias eu já não tinha mais tosse. Eu tava me sentindo totalmente curada, já não tinha mais nenhum sintoma. Foi muito importante, então eu queria agradecer de coração por essa doação. Eu continuo tomando, inclusive a água do copo 1, porque serve como prevenção. Porque corre o risco de pegar novamente, sim. Então acreditem, compartilhe essa informação, porque vai ajudar muitas vidas.
Olá, tudo bem? Meu nome é Nilsânia. No início eu estava pensando que era simplesmente alguma virose mesmo, uma gripe qualquer, né? Só que aí o meu sintoma, né, estava mais grave. Para mim, foi bem forte o meu sintoma mesmo. No início nós começamos a usar o copo 1 e o copo 2 3 vezes ao dia. Basicamente, nós aplicávamos o copo 1 e o copo 2 16, 17 vezes ao dia. E tomando também, né, o copo 1, né? Hoje eu estou bem, hoje eu estou com 22 dias, né? Então, tô bem.
Meu nome é João. Eu tive muita dor no corpo, nas juntas, nos braços, nas pernas. Quase não saí da cama de tanta dor. Aí uma grande amiga minha me deu uma água. Essa água tem o nome de água plasmada do copo da vida 1 e simplesmente me levantou. Estou com uma qualidade de vida excelente. Acabaram as dores e eu recomendo para todos.
Olá, bom dia. Meu nome é Aparecida Tinte. Dei entrada no hospital com fortes dores no pulmão, com febre, já há 3 dias, com calafrios que eu tive também, tremores, tossindo muito e falta de ar. A médica me pediu um exame de sangue e uma radiografia. Ela me disse que estava com uma lesão no pulmão e que ia tratar em casa. Trouxe para mim aqui o copo da vida. Eu tomei esse copo, depois de eu tomar, passado umas meia hora, eu comecei a ter reações de dores, muitas dores abdominais. Durante a noite, só lá para umas 3, 4 horas da manhã, foi que eu vim conseguir dormir. E aí sim, quando eu acordei, eu estava ótima.
Meu nome é Maria Helena, eu tive os sintomas do coronavírus, tive muita dor de cabeça, dores no corpo, dor para respirar e bastante coriza. Um amigo me passou o site da Fundação Keshe e eu fiz, né, o copo da vida, e através disso eu comecei a tomar e comecei a ter uma melhora muito grande, e dentro de 14 dias eu já estava completamente bem. E hoje eu estou aqui produzindo mais ganhos para poder estar distribuindo aí pela cidade. Eu agradeço muito à Fundação Keshe por ter dado essa oportunidade e essa tecnologia. Obrigada.
Meu nome é Dirceu, eu estava com diarreia, estava com febre, estava com tosse seca. Minha esposa começou a me dar água plasmada, foi bom, resolveu. No outro dia de manhã já basicamente não tinha diarreia, não tinha febre, a tosse seca sumiu.
Meu nome é Rogério, sou morador de Nova Iguaçu. Eu cheguei no médico, passei uma série de exames, ultrassonografia, exame de sangue, tomografia computadorizada. No domingo eu passei muito mal. Sábado ou domingo, se eu não me recordo. Então eu liguei pro Darcilei e me cedeu da água dele. Eu fui, peguei meu carro, fui lá me arrastando, consegui chegar na casa dele, estava muito mal. E na segunda-feira, minha irmã me levou ao médico. Né? Cheguei lá, eu fiz ultrassonografia abdominal. Fiz tomografia do tórax, do abdômen, tá? Já foi pedindo automaticamente o meu Covid-19. Exame de sangue, eu vou acreditar nessa tecnologia Keshe, que é um copo, uma vida, e tá aqui, ó, para vocês verem. Esse aqui é o copo número 1, o Gans está aqui no fundo. Esse é o número 2, que eu iniciei meu tratamento na segunda-feira, e olha, minha recuperação foi absurda. De 100% que eu estava, eu fui a 10%. De segunda para terça, na terça-feira já estava em uns 70%. Hoje eu estou excelente.
Meu nome é Adalgisa. Eu fiquei doente mês passado. Eu tive gripe, garganta inflamada, sinusite, perdi o olfato, paladar. Como eu já vinha pesquisando sobre a água de plasma, para essa situação fiz o protocolo de infectado, porque foi a água de plasma que me ajudou a ficar boa.
Eu estive bem doente semana passada e eu posso falar que esse produto, ele te traz um bem-estar, ele te traz uma reenergização do corpo já cansado pela doença que você vai estar. No caso, estava com febre, dores no corpo, né? Cansaço, que ela trouxe uma melhora instantânea quando borrifada no meu corpo e quando eu ingerindo aqueles copos de minutos a minutos, que eu estava bem debilitada, minha esposa que me fornecia.
Eu também tomei a água plasmada, estava com alguns sintomas também, febre, dor no corpo, muito cansada, mas eu estava bem melhor que o Marcelo. Eu tomei a água, me senti bem melhor, dei para os meus filhos também, a gente utilizou aqui em casa bastante, né? Foi muito bom, o Marcelo melhorou muito, tá ótimo hoje, né, amor? Eu acho que vocês devem confiar no tratamento e tentar fazer.
Eu fui diagnosticada com CID B34.2, que é a infecção por coronavírus, tá? Fiquei muito mal, fiquei sem apetite, dor no corpo, muita dor de cabeça, garganta infeccionada, me sentindo muito indisposta, uma febre muito alta, um cansaço assim fora do comum. E aí eu conheci uma pessoa que me ofereceu água plasmada, que é derivado do Gans. Ela me ajudou muito, tá? Eu me sinto hoje muito bem, tá? Eu fiz uso dela por uma semana, ainda continuo tomando. Eu me sinto totalmente aliviada dos meus sintomas.
Meu nome é Adriana Fagundes. Eu estive com Covid, estava de noite com dor de garganta e tive um pouco de febre, calafrio, usando água do copo 1, do copo 2 para borrifação, e eu não tomei nenhum analgésico. Tomei nada. Só tomei realmente as águas do copo 1 e eu notei que melhorei muito. Amanheci sem tosse, não estou com tosse, mas eu notei que com a tecnologia Keshe minha vida melhorou. Só gratidão. Muito obrigada a todos. Obrigada, senhor Keshe.
Meu nome é Raquel, sou de Maceió. Comecei com Covid com sintomas leves, a garganta está incomodando bastante. Na hora de engolir, senti ela muito seca e leve dor no corpo. Então, comecei a tomar e a borrifar. Depois dessa fase, comecei a sentir os incômodos no pulmão, na costela, né? Na costela esquerda, no final da costela. Comecei a inalar o plasma, tá? Daí a dor passou. Então, assim, estou muito bem e só tenho a agradecer. Gratidão à Fundação Keshe, gratidão à Mr. Keshe e à Raí. Só tenho a agradecer a Deus por essa bênção.
Eu estava esperando ver como é que ela ia ficar durante o dia para te dar notícias, mas ontem, desde que eu borrifei fazendo o teste, que parou de aumentar, né? Aí ela foi só borrifando. Adolescente, você sabe como é que é, né? Então ela não quis colocar a toalha Aí eu falei com ela para ir borrifando. Então ela borrifou ontem à noite e hoje o dia inteiro. E quase que já sumiu as manchas, né? Bom demais.
Olá a todos, nós estamos aqui para dar o nosso depoimento da nossa cura do Covid. Então eu vou mostrar primeiro para vocês o meu exame. Rosana Alves Lourenço, detectável.
Victoria Tamito, detectável.
Então, nós estamos aqui para dar o nosso depoimento que nós nos curamos do Covid com água plasmada. Eu vim aqui agradecer a Deus, à Fundação Keshe, ao Senhor Keshe e ao Copo Uma Vida. Gratidão.
Welcome back to the Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers 373 edition. And we hope we learn a little bit more about where we are about to go and how we are about to expand our knowledge beyond knowledge of the man and understanding the knowledge of the universe and the true way, the true passage and the true understanding of the knowledge that will take mankind to universal community, and from there on what we call the embodiment of the universal community, the essence of creation, the creator. But that is for man to understand in time, place, and the position. Rick, are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Let me remind the attendees here, they can raise their virtual hands and we can allow you to speak if you wish. That's on the Zoom chat. That's what I mean by here in this case. Just looking over the YouTube here. Jared says, "Hi, Mr. Keshe. I always feel sore on my forehead. Is it related to that invisible gland around or in the forehead?" But perhaps you'll say that you're not a medical doctor and maybe you should have it looked at first. Maybe we can come up with some other questions that would be more appropriate here. Just looking at our Q&A, we've got several questions there. From Salamia, who asks, can you help us with the correct study of your books to be sure that our understanding is correct? Thanks from the bottom of my heart. Much love.
Every man takes from the book what is to the level of their understanding of their own creation. This book will be read by millions and will create millions of dimensions and directions for each one of them according to their ethos, their upbringing, and their path of belief, and many, many others. There is no way to read the book. Some people might read all 3 books, and the last sentence of the last book bring all the message to them. And some will have that in the first paragraph, the first book. There is no method to teach. Then if we do, it'll become the same as the past. This is what we say, it has to be done. This is what I always say, there is no set way. There is no way that this is what I say has to be done. Otherwise, we are back into what we said in the past, prophethood and all sorts. We teach collectively and in a way, totality. Every man will take what he needs from it at the point of need, and a point of use, and a point of understanding, and a point of maturity. There is no guideline, as if there was a guideline, we would have seen exactly the same structure across the universe. All the planets will be the same, all the stars will be the same, all the galaxies will be the same. Each galaxy takes from its environment what it needs to position itself and creates within it the stars and solar systems which it needs to maintain that position. So is the soul of the man. Soul of the man is a galaxy, and it has to find its position, and within it creates all sorts of emotions, and in interaction with the outside manifests its physicality. In essence, there is no way to teach you how to read and what to understand. Then we create what has happened in the past. Dimensions that we dictate. There is no dictatorship, there is no leadership. The only one who leads you to the path of the Creator is you, and according to your understanding. The freedom of the soul of the man is more important than capturing and enslaving the physicality of the man. In a way, we are all messiahs. In a way, we are messiah of our own physicality. From day one, I always said, I'm the messiah. Messiah of my own existence, not yours. What I understand to salvage and in a way to promote my soul to the next level count, even though we carry 2 souls, the soul of Creator and the soul of the man. In a way, just because you carry one does not give you the privilege for the other, but enlightens you to see the other. And anybody who says that I am Messiah, yes, you are. The same as I always said, I am a Messiah, but Messiah of my own soul, not yours or anybody else, not even my children. And this has to be the path of life. This is the way we live. And we will see those who want to abuse it, they tell you, this is Mr. Keshe said it has to be that way. This shows the weakness in you, not the strength in them. Read the books the way, according to the way you were brought up, the way your social structure was set, the way your life and living was. And then through it, understand the totality of the creation. You are not here to dictate your life on the others, and you're not here to be dictated. You are the Messiah of yourself, as I am the Messiah. Yes, the Messiah of myself, my soul. Those who want to falsify, they say, he says he's a Messiah. Yes, I am, but of my own soul and nobody else's. And this is what we call charlatans. We see them. Don't let anybody abuse you to say this is what it has to be. You have to dictate yourself. You have to decide yourself which way is the path you want to take, not by reading. The book is a guideline, is the way to show, and it's you who have to find the line and guide it to the destination. I cannot tell you which book to read. If I tell you, I started the path of before. As I said, many of you read these books for past 10 years, and today you see a new light into it. Which book have you read? Or do you have to read a book now to understand? All this book was written initially from the basic foundation about the man and a path to the creator, but you looked at it as a matter to the soul. This is what you take from it, and no one can tell you what to read. And no one can tell you what it means. And I've seen many people say, Mr. Keshe said this, so he has to be. Mr. Keshe teaches the totality. It's you who have to use the path. And you've seen many people in recent past writing Messiah. Yes, I'm the Messiah of myself. And outside, the word is used because they're charlatans. They have nothing else to give to no one. So by lying, by cheating, the way it was done over years, by religious groups, but not the true essence of the religion, to deceive people. And now we have a new cycle of these people. And this has to stop. It's you who decides. You are the Messiah of yourself. And this is what I always said. We are all become Messiahs, but of our own soul, because the day of judgment is in our hand. And today we showed you a new way. You judge which way you want to go. If you reach that point of position, then you start a new cycle, understanding the totality. Or if you decide, I stay with the material world and I enjoy till I'm here, and then something will happen to my soul, it decides, you're quite welcome to it. Where would you like to land? And that's the choice. The books are written, the papers are published for knowledge guidance, not for life guidance. And those who tell you this is the way it has to be, those are the ones who are there to abuse you. And if you dictate to somebody that Mr. Keshe says it has to be, again, you're there to abuse them. So we have to become mature to the reality and the fact. Read the books, maybe 10 times, and you might gather a totally different understanding each time from the same sentence. That's what we call enlightenment. Depends how much, by the time you went from the book 1 to end of book 3, you understood, and then you went back because you understood more in the last piece of book 3. You understand book number 1 totally different when you read the second time. And in so many ways, knowledge is free. And as I said, it's written in the world, the eye of the man, and gather something from it. And with that knowledge, souls find different elevation for itself. Never ask me which way to read. Ask yourself, what do I expect of myself to be Messiah of my own soul? Where do I want to go? Dimension of physicality or dimension of the soul? Or the new way of both, as we created a new life through the soul, that it'll take the shape of physicality. Mankind soon will understand. What's next, Rick?
Well, I had sort of a question about what you're saying, but in regards to the teachers that are attempting to transfer your teaching into, and broadcasting it to other people and the rest of humanity, basically. We have many different Keshe Foundation teachers and others that are working at that from many different countries. And there's always questions and sometimes conflicts with people about so-and-so might be misinterpreting your teachings, and so-and-so might, be putting their own bias on it, or their own inclinations, or their own knowledge into it. And I know you've encouraged people to bring out their own flavor, let's say, of the teaching, of the plasma teaching. But at the same time, where are the borders? Where are the limits of what becomes somebody's, not ego trip, but some sort of their own concoction in their mind, as opposed to what is reflecting the reality, or at least the truth at that moment coming out? It's kind of a juggling act in a way. It seems like a difficult position to be in, to be delivering this. So can you comment on that, give some advice perhaps for those that are teachers or thinking of becoming teachers, on how to approach that, how to present the teaching as you know it, that you believe is as true as you can, but at the same time, we have to have a checking process of some sort, otherwise this is kind of a free-for-all.
This is the process which we are aware of, you and me, from the beginning of the time, 8-9 years ago, and with us from past 15 years, since the set up the Keshe Foundation. Scientists took it and they interpreted it, and they developed technologies from it. Theologists, we hear a lot of them making comments and understanding of new ways. We see knowledge seekers who came as knowledge seekers, never heard of it. And after about 2-3 times, if you remember, we used to give them platform to talk. They became professors as Keshe Foundation, KF SSI, and they paid some glues, and they became, now we taught Mr. Keshe everything. And we've seen the ones who stood next to us by then becoming, thinking now they're more important than the technology and the whole caboodle we've seen with it. In all cases, it's good, because even as I said, somebody picks it up and teaches it the wrong way, but in the path, somebody will take something from it and create something new that it benefits the humanity or himself or whatever, it still is good. And those who try to stick to the alphabet, and it has to be because Mr. Keshe said, they made mistakes or they may be correct, and they bring people to a path of different way of understanding, but at the end of it will inspire to something. And it's the same, the people who make these kind of things, we saw, as I said, even recently, we saw attacks on Keshe Foundation through our own teaching. There are people who sit and watch every week the teaching, and whatever we say, they turn it 180 degrees against, where months ago everything was so sweet, because now they have to pay for the new master. They play a new game to a new master. So what happened? Everything was okay till a year ago, 2 years ago, and now everything is opposite. It cannot be. It shows the weakness in the man. The technology and the teaching does not change. But it's good because when they do these things, as the same as the guy who might teach the wrong way or make the magraph the wrong way, but the people he teaches, they learn something from it and they reach something positive for themselves. This makes people to question themselves. Is it correct? Is it the reality? Is, as we've seen with many knowledge seekers, they say it's impossible to be this. So nobody is wrong and nobody is right, but again, it brings back to the judgment. How do we judge it? How do we expect it to be judged? And then we think about it. We were there, everything was correct. When we got kicked out, everything is wrong. We've seen this many times, not only with the Keshe Foundation, we've seen with many organizations. And then they try to reverse, but they forget people are attached to the true knowledge, to true understanding, so they see with them how much the correctness is. If Ms. Keshe says wind the coil this way and they teach it the wrong way, okay, I wind it the wrong way, maybe I learned something new from it. And this is one of the reasons we don't teach everything that is complete, that's it, you do it. You produce paint pens, we've seen it. To you, these paint pens is what you produce, and we've seen thousands of them. But none of them is the way we produce in Keshe Foundation. None of you, especially nowadays, you produce a single paint pen which is Keshe Foundation certified, because you don't even know what's in it. Even if you see it, you think you know, it's not. This is the way the foundation works. We let you to interpret, to produce and see the results, because everything is like creation of the universes. Every single diversity, every single extra winding on a coil creates a different galaxy, different star, different position. Just because you turned it 81 turn and the other one turned 81 turn, but his started in the middle of 81 turn and yours is the end, it's totally different. It's not the same. It's, as I always say, it's like a beautiful Persian says, whoever has a mustache is not your uncle. Otherwise, half of the nation is your uncle. So this is the way it is. You produce it, and everyone has a different face, different beauty. And does not mean anybody's wrong, but if it doesn't work for you, when you make it, two things. Have you made it not the way what you expected? Or was your expectation too high from what you made? Some people are happy with 20% saving in Maghreb system. Some people are getting free and they say something wrong. You've got to be a generator. Because they never understood. The whole purpose of the Maghreb system is to create a condition that it absorbs energy from the environment and it feeds back into it. It's a hybrid. It's a system that if you can hybrid it the right way, will gather enough that they'll have a surplus. Then is that surplus a generation? Or is that surplus you're taking too much from the environment you're not supposed to be? Some people use the Maghrebs as creating fields for specific conditions. We've seen that in Arizona. When they put so many Maghrebs, they could light up the tube. So it shows the field exists. If you look at the pictures that we have in what you call exhibition center, we have put many fluorescent tubes near and around the system. We have hung magnets around the system. We have put UFOs near the system where there are free flow field interactions. There is a reason for it. Because the field shows if it's a matter state. The field in the light shows me if it's in the plasma state. The other one, when the UFO moves, it shows me the field's interactive, which means we look for a new dimension. When we run these systems, we see the system inside, the motors don't work anymore. But the controls we have on our central core tells us the energy is available, but we don't see any motion, which means matter state is over. We have reached a plasmatic condition. We understand this. And then what happened? We see people who are what I call hooligans. They tried making, and people are totally ignorant. They never even went to school. The people who made claim against the Keshe Foundation and the system, they don't even have a, what I call primary school certificate. Forget about secondary. They're absolutely, you check into the background, they have no education. And just suddenly they became, because they used to be close, now they can make all sorts of acquisition. As the leaders of the community in Lens told them, he's a nuclear physicist, he knows what you do. Madam, do you have anything? No, I'm actually nothing. I don't only have a first school certificate. So if you get the accusation by a knowledgeable man, you can understand and explain. When I speak with the Iranian nuclear physicist and the head of the nuclear, even they are puzzled by the maturity of the knowledge. How can you expect an illiterate to claim knows everything? And then how do they set these things? And who do they dictate? Unless you're illiterate, you follow illiterate, because this suits, nobody shows we are illiterate. That's what it is. A fool follows a fool. And this is the process you have to understand. And you'll see this is how you have to be. You judge, we teach, we taught you different ways. Our MAGRAPH systems, which are true MAGRAPH system using the enhancement unit, is nowhere near even what you've been shown the first line of. We showed you the steps. We showed you the first guidelines. And we waited to see how much you develop. Nobody came out with the true system. A MAGRAPH should reflect the position and structure of the universe. And none of you have done that. I made three systems with Alex's system in Ghana, and we connected into the house. It's there, they're recorded. You can go to the electricity board of the Ghanaian board authorities, and you see every day, 7 o'clock in the morning, the Ghanaian electricity board, they have this system that they send you a text, how much the day before you've used in past 24 hours. We run 2 large air conditioning systems in the house. All the night and day consumption, and every day message is 0. It's there, it's registered. You go to the Ghanaian authorities, ask for electricity. The day I was in the house, how much electricity with 3 air conditioners run? 0. How come I can produce it when I need it? Because I know what I'm doing. How come it's only my house? And how come we produce so much energy by running the air conditioner that it overrides to 92 amp transfer switch that with a huge transfer damages the central station, which is just about 500 meters away. When it comes to me, I know what I'm doing because it's my understanding of technology. And the rest of you, you're going, oh, he only gives us 10%, 20%, 30%. Oh, it's not what is said. It's in black and white. My teaching is the same. Nothing has changed. Alex's teaching about the beads is the same. Nothing has changed. It's how you interpret it, how you connect it. The 3 units which were in Ghana, built especially, and placed in my house in Ghana, created it, and electricity board tells you, how come I get 0 input and I'm putting something more back into the community and you are still claiming I don't get 20, 30%. See where you made a mistake. See where you didn't correct even the MAGRAPHs which came from Italy or Austria, you don't correct. There is something structured. Even these MAGRAPHs can give you 30, 40% discount. And the same was done, I think, about the Polish. They put in the ice cream factory, of Bulgarian, and the ice cream factory was producing ice cream with no electricity, which they took the meter out because it's wrong. So some of the knowledge seekers followed the understanding and they achieved it. It's how you do it, what you understand from it. And nobody is wrong. It's our understanding, our ways of teaching, which is free for you to decide what to do. And this is the understanding of totality. You don't need to follow what is written in the books or the way I produce things. We show a path. It's you who decide you want to go on the pavement, you want to go in the center, you want to go underground, or you go on the side road and you come back on the path to experience more, to understand more, to be able to be part of the society, to share more. And that's all it's the purpose of it. How I answered you, and You all can teach, you all can learn. And what we gather from that teaching that help us counts. And in so many ways, the same with the cup of life. Many of you make a cup of life, and now you say, okay, it's there, I made a cup. I see what it does with the plant. I see what it does with the pain in my knee. I see what it does with the growth of the dog's nail or toe or whatever. So you are expanding the knowledge, and that was the purpose of it. It says cup of life. It means if you understand it and you make it the right way and for the right application, it can save a life, it can extend the life, it can bring comfort to life. It's you who defines the life and the limitation to it, the same with the knowledge. Any other question?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. We have a hand up here. Once I activated the hands being able to rise, from SZ, if you could go ahead. Could be SZ, depending on which country. Forget now.
SZ is from Australia, isn't it?
Yes. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how are you? My question is, if you take a zinc Gans water, will it basically elevate the zinc in blood if you take a blood test or no?
In reality, no. But in essence, how do you use it that it brings balance in the body of the man? When you take a Gans water of zinc, you don't take the zinc. You create a dimension of the pull from environment that it takes things from the environment to reach to the part of the body of the man which is needed. This is the understanding of it. When you take zinc in a higher order, does not mean that you're actually feeding the body. It travels through the body and creates a motion of the fields that those cells who need it, they take from the environment, what they need from the environment of the cell or the lymph of the man for the cell which is needed. It's a misconception that instead of taking physical, if you take a physical zinc, yes, you do that kind of interaction. But now you create a plasma of the zinc, not the zinc. This is why I tell you, always take the water of the Gans, not the Gans. Because it's there as it goes through your body, the body balances in what it needs. But how come you just take zinc? It's what I call waste of a bullet. To create any condition is a waste of time. It is, if you get the zinc, for what reason you're taking the zinc? And secondly, how do you connect it to your body? This is what I tell you. We say in Indian, always say, it says, Nim Hakim Khatare Jan, means half doctor is danger to life. If you are taking zinc, are you taking the zinc for what purpose? If you're taking zinc, are you taking the amino acid of it? How much of the amino acid? Because you need to connect it to the protein. I throw an arrow, but I don't know where I'm shooting at. It might land somewhere, but it has nowhere to land except fall off. Because where is the amino acid that you connected to the body? But you made the amino acid connection, but where is the line of connection to the body of the man which you need, which is a carbon? Where is your CO2? And then if you made that connection, you need the amino acid of CO2 as well, that you make the right connection to the right cell condition. Then it comes, are you targeting the zinc in the neurosystem, in the main channel? Are you looking for the neurosystem in the arteries of the neurosystem? Are you going for the brain because it's a different zinc totally and it needs a different combination to connect to it? This is what I explained recently, and I explain again. If I can use my whiteboard, please. You have a neurosystem, and with it, you have the nerve system. And here you have the limbs. The body, the brain of the man sends a specific information for a specific cell here, both through the emotion line, the blood, which is a magnetic field flow, and a current through the neurosystem. And depending on the salinity of the environment, because these two match specifically for this cell will be produced or nourished. So, in fact, what are you targeting? Have you understood how to transfer the signal through the magnetic field flow, which is the oxygen, and carry information through the electric current through the copper, that the interaction of these two creates a specific length for a cell of the heart, for example, which is damaged. I can do that because I carry the knowledge. I know what it needs to be. But you get something and I hope something and I hope I make this. Hopes stays in a lot of places. This is why in the development of the technology, when you come to it, we target even the position of this thing. We make a patch for it. This is where we want it to be. What's the purpose of the patches? Why do you breathe with the breathing system? Because through the breathing system, you feed the emotion inside. You do everything half-cooked, one thing out of 10, and you expect, oh, something wrong with that. No, sir, you have not understood the technology. Even with the people who have cancer or they come to me with everything, I give them guidelines they have to do because I know the emotional sense prevail over the physicality. They have to handle, they have to understand. And this is why I tell knowledge seekers, you make your Ganses, the way you think and the emotion you carry will dictate this cancer cell will move or will stay. How much do you want to live? That cell. Mr. Keshe taught us, but the cancer, because you do not want to live because I show you the way. It's you in the emotion for the reasons of living, you decided. I'm not there to decide for your physicality. We had this very recently in past 2 or 3 years, one of the top guys in Keshe Foundation and the cancer, and he passed away. From the beginning, I asked him, he said, this life, I don't want to live, Mr. Keshe. It's too much pain, it's too much suffering. I said, you choose the path. I gave you everything. He said, I have to go through it till it's over. And everybody says, Mr. Keshe, why don't you help the guy? Because I speak to them the way they want to have their attachment. As I said, I called the donor and said, thank you very much. What do you want? I just donated, I don't care. But I said, Keshe Foundation is not a charity that it takes money. We're not opening Second Vatican. I would like to do this with what you have donated. Yes, okay, we go that way. This is the way it's done. And it's the way I do with the knowledge seekers. There are selected people I try to help, which are give advice to, and then they consult with their doctors what they do in certain positions. It's them who have to decide because the soul, the deep inside the soul of the man decides. Not just say taking a copper or taking a zinc and it doesn't work. What do you want to do with it? As I always said, you are planning, you have forgotten your own creation, and halfway you want to do things. You are made of 3 things. In a way, your body is made of the air, the physicality, and the water. And the body of the man is no different. You breathe the air, so you have to fix this air part. You drink the water because you have to physically put this into it. And then you have the other part, which is your emotion. You have to fix the physical part which has come into it. You're made of 3 elements of this planet. You have to support all of it. The drinking water is what you drink, goes through your body. It's embodiment of your creation. Are you taking enough water with it? You make a system to cover your physicality with the water or with a patch or whatever. And then you breathe the air, which is another dimension you have. And then in each one, you have to write the right connection to connect to it, not just because I take it. And this is why when I get involved, if I have to take a direction in it, in the process, I know exactly what I do, but I still leave one option all the time to people: the emotion of the man. I'm not in that soul to know what it really wants. We've shown that in ILS. They want to stay alive. We give them every opportunity, but the wish to die is much more stronger than to live because they do not have what they wanted. They lost that essence of loving and creation. And that's it. I don't get, why do we get so much ILS nowadays from sports people or actresses? Because they don't get what they came in for. They wanted to be the top footballer, they got paid 1 million less than the other. We want to be the best actor, we didn't get it to us, I wish I'd die. Why do we have the top actor, actresses in America have opened a charity for ILS for new actors, actresses? And we see this because the wish and the will of the soul of the man is much stronger than physicality because it has created it. The man's emotion is the cause of his own demise or elevation of his own soul. This comes many times. Mr. Keshe, I've taken zinc, but it doesn't work. Excuse me, what do you want? You want zinc as a mine? We can mine it for you. Or if you want to use it, for what purpose? In where it's supposed to go? I have a bone pain. What is the bone pain for? I have a toe which hurts. I was told many times, why, if you're so good, you don't use your own technology for yourself? Because I'm like you in the dimension of physicality. I have to go through the same process as you do, not as a process of the soul of the creator within the dimension of. Because I have to feel the pain, I have to understand the suffering, that I can find a solution in the level of the man. That's why we come here, not only to live the life of the man, to know the loving and how to love a woman or a man, but we come here to understand where man has gone wrong, what causes man to become enemy of itself and the others, and find a solution for it. And I hear many times, I'm using Ganses, but excuse me, if you haven't understood the teaching for long enough, how do you want me to teach you? Zinc for what purpose? Are you opening a zinc mine? Where? If the zinc is for the man, where is the amino acid connection to him? Which part of him? And if the man has a cancer and you cannot find a solution for it, when you give him all advice, why is the reason that he wants to demise his life, but he wants to feel it because the pain of it is there. You can all live for millions of years. Why don't you understand and find a shortcut to your soul and expand the dimension of the soul? Like you go through a microwave, you disinfect everything and it come out perfect from the end. No disease. But have you learned where is this switch to the microwave that you can put it in and expand the fields? And this time at 800 degrees there's something else, and 600 degrees there's something else. In a way, what do you want the zinc for? Are you collecting some zinc to make some nano coating? It's easier to buy from the mine. Or have you gone to the next step that you don't need the zinc? You can create magnetic field of the zinc and from it produce zinc if you need, or produce the plasma strength of the zinc. That will be the strength of the heart of the man and something else. When you have a heart problem, even the ratio of the zinc you use for the muscle tissue is different than when you have a what you call Alzheimer's. The heart of the man carries the emotion of the man. And with it, none of you ever use copper for, when I come to the heart, I have to use the heart. I use a specific way of copper because it's a tough tissue. It needs strengthening, it needs to build. I cannot just build it with emotion and zinc. Your knowledge has to become adjustable and controllable for what you need. And by this time, after years of teaching, this should have long time ago resolved.
Okay, thank you very much for your help.
What's next question?
Okay, not getting any other hands up right now, so we can go to our Q&A. Doug had a point. We had a thing in the news recently of the Suez Canal being blocked by a ship, and Doug's asking, is the blocking of the Suez Canal a part of the end of the old, or the part of the beginning of the new, or both? Just a thought, if Mr. Keshe would like to comment.
I've seen the picture. Accident happens, and why and how they said is a freak accident. Nobody can explain how. And when you have such a busy traffic going through, you expect this. And we do not see how. I've looked at it. I don't understand it. I looked at the press releases on it. I don't see how it can be done and how it's been done. And this process, you can become cynical and read anything to it. If it's a deliberate, if it's blocking, why is it blocking? What it's trying to do, we can make a lot of assumptions, a lot of histories and stories with it. But I cannot tell you anything because we do not know what happened, how it happened. We had a disaster like this in Italy a few years ago. The ship ran, some people died in it. We had the same incident a few months ago. One of the big ocean container carriers lost hundreds of the tankers into the ocean. And these things happen. Maritime life is a very strange life. You cannot say what you want to read in it and how you want to read in it and the way you want to explain it and try to understand it. In so many ways, we need to understand the totality of it.
Well, in the big picture, at least, it's making a big difference with the oil shipments.
In essence, what do you want me to say? If we lose a spaceship in planet Zeus, were the Zeusian attacking it, or our captain was incompetent and he made a mistake? We can read. The thing is, accident can happen. We've seen it. And governments or some forces are opportunistic and they use that opportunity to do what they like. Cannot be said. And we are the what we call, we are observers to this point. We are not the creators, and we don't see what can happen.
Okay, let's move along. We've got a hand
in
up.
totality, we have to be observers, see if somebody uses it or It was just an accident, freak accident, which has happened. I never make comment on these things unless we have something 100% in hand and you can talk about it. We saw a few weeks ago, just before Iranian New Year, we saw a direct attack, 4 missile attack into an engine of a boat. We knew what it is. As I said, I requested from the other side just to be patient, children play. And we have seen it up to now. The calmness has been kept, no retaliation. And we set for the process of peace. But accidents, we cannot talk. There is recently somewhere I've seen, they say, now nuclear technology has taken a new shape. Iran and the Keshe Foundation have become the promoter of the nuclear technology. And what is the reason for it? The reason for it is that if you want to go to space, you cannot go with the spade and shovel. You cannot go mining in every planet for whatever. As somebody said, Earth is a good commodity land. To who? Because if you don't understand it, yes. But if you understand the process, you can have everything you like. Earth has no commodity, no value, because you can produce anything you like anywhere in the universe. So what is the commodity? Or lack of understanding gives you an opportunity to make it a commodity. In so many ways, we have to become wise to what it is, and some people create and use that opportunity to make it a position that they can create a condition for themselves in whatever is the, what I call the target or the purpose. But it's a very strange freak accident. I've seen it, but on the other hand, I've seen many incidents, most of us have seen. So we step down with it and we just watch, see what they do with it. And we'll see what we can take and to where we can take in so many ways, the time of it and the place of it. And see the development. What's the next question?
Okay, can you hear me okay, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good. Good. We have Kay here with a hand up.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning. How's your
Morning,
how's your aid going on? Have you eaten enough?
Not really, I'm not. No, unfortunately, you don't have family here, so you don't get all those beautiful foods. You know, we've got
but you can still carry your cultures at your table.
I do, I did.
Like me,
we
pass
always
the
do.
table every day, pick it, gas up, and do something else.
We do. We have been setting our table for past since our kids have been around since 20 years now. We've got to have seen every year, but in terms of variety of food like fish and sabzi polo and all that, no, sorry, that hasn't happened. We have got our shirinis and everything else to go with it. Yes.
We live in a poor city of London. There are no Iranians except 500,000 of them, so it shouldn't be that hard.
Well, yes, it's a lot of things exist in here, so you can get a lot of stuff. But I'm not very good at sabzi polo mohi and all that. I'm good at cooking, but it's unfortunately not that part. But yes, it's been a beautiful season, obviously, and with the start of the KF TV, everything is all been catapulted in one go, and it's really beautiful period to be in. And hopefully this year will bring everything that we have planned for. And thank you for today's teaching. I had a question referring to Mr. Z from Australia, who referred to zinc. This is more or less in the same line, but what does it mean when you have high zinc content in your blood as opposed to the rest of the elements. Just zinc is extremely high, and you have a brain cancer. What does that say?
The zinc is one of the main constituents of the brain of the man. And the brain is mainly consists of CO2, zinc, fair amount of calcium, and certain amount of magnesium. And with it, a specific salt content, which allows the brain to stay in a transformation position without the need for blood. And in a way, the property of the carbon in a CO2 state in the brain is as such that is in a superconductor plasma condition. You know superconductivity in a matter state, there is superconductivity in a plasma, which is a specific position. And the brain of the man works that way. And when you have a high blood zinc and a brain tumor, which again shows 100%, when we look at the newer space technology, when we process any condition, we look at what is high. So the brain is holding too much zinc, and what's the reason of it? And that zinc in the brain, in creating excessive gravitational magnetic field, creates the holding on to heavier gravity. And it's obvious if you see zinc in the blood, you see tumor, it gives you a very clear indication. Doctors have to read the new process. And with a new technology, we come to the point of understanding of the totality of the whole system in how to be able to create a new system.
Hello, Mr. Keshe, can you hear me? You lost your sound. Okay, bear with us as we fix this issue. Okay, bear with us. I think we have a sound problem. Hello, Mr. Keshe, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me, so I've sent some messages.
I feel so bad seeing him explaining so thoroughly, and we can't hear it. This is so unfair.
Yeah, it's unfair. Hello, Mr. Keshe, can you hear us? Have to feed. We can't hear your sound.
And in so many ways,
we
we see what goes on in the body of the man.
Hello, Mr. Keshe, can you hear me?
And we understand the totality of the process. Has any of it been recorded? Pardon?
Can you hear me? Hello?
So you don't have the recording from the time he asked the question. Thank you very much. So we start again from the beginning. Apparently, there's a voice cut off in the background. Carlos asked about if you see the zinc, elevation of the zinc, and the what we call brain tumor. I talked for nearly 2 minutes. I don't know if it is recorded, but we go back and try to explain. In a new science and technology of plasma, we look at the plasmatic field structure of the system. We don't look at the matter state. The body of the man is made of the zinc in the brain by a large quantity and the CO2, and at the same time by other elements like magnesium and calcium. When you have a high elevation of the zinc in the blood and you have a brain tumor, you have to look at other elements and in so many ways look at the composition of the elements in relation to the zinc. And if you see usually elevation in the calcium, then we advise doctors what we see, what is the center, what is bringing solid state of the matter in the brain and the creation of tumor. As I said, we advise doctors, and it's for them to understand. And as I explained, that the new way for plasma technology is the new methods of evaluating the blood test through Raman spectroscopy, through field transfer, which creates and shows us the emotion within the blood, through understanding and transformation of the material inside the body of the man within that state. The extension and the change in the salinity of the cell. You cannot convert suddenly a position in the brain where the zinc suddenly becomes in the solid state on its own. The salt content, the salinity is a main factor. If when I consult with the doctors for them to use the technology, I always tell them, measure all the salt. If your salinity, if you do a simple alkaline test and you are in a lower region, you're 100% cancer, you're going for it. Because there is no salt to create that position, and the energy transfer changes allows the creation of solidification opposite to the structure of the man, and then you're in problem. You need the salinity changes the matter state energy to a plasma state energy. And when you're in the plasma state energy with the right salinity, then you create fields, you don't create matter. It's very simple. You create gravitational field forces than matter state field forces. That's why you take everything which is sugar or alcoholic or alcohol in that level, your acidity rises. Acidity allows matter state to grow, where alkalineness allows the field transfer plasma. If you have, we always advise doctors, we've done for years, the first test you do for your cancer test is when you get the blood test, look at it, and then you know where the problem is. And then look at the alkalineness, look at the salinity. No doctor today takes measure of the salinity. And how do you want to change the environment and have no effect on the matter condition? And salinity is partially controlled by the emotion, because it decides the change and the variation. And this is one of the main problems. We ask doctors to do what we call alkaline test. If you are below 7, you're in acid condition, you're in the matter state. So you have to move into the energy state, into plasma state, which is the alkalineness, and move it above 7.5 to 8. And then you see changes. You say, oh, somebody had a cancer today and they ate carrots and he went. But was that carrot grown in a field where was different salt content and matched the blood salinity, and suddenly it dissolved? And everybody else carrots and it doesn't work. He was lying, he never had a cancer. I caught cancer of pancreas and liver by poisoning, by those who you know. And then they said it's a radiation. It was clear from the doctors and us, it was a poisoning cancer. It was poison to kill. But I'm still here after 10 years. Because I know how to control. I was continuously poisoned over years. Because they want to get rid of a scientist. And what do? They share bed with you and poison you. And this process continuously carried. They eat with you, they poison you. And you stay sick all the time. Then when you change the environment, there is nothing. There is no illness, there is no pain, everything goes. You change your salinity. The whole structure is understanding the composition of physicality of the man. The rest works on its own. The rest is there, and it shows. When you have a will to survive, when you have understanding to be there, and you have a reason for it, they can do anything. Your soul will protect you. My reason has been to serve humanity. They tried the bullet, they tried the poison, they tried the bombing, they tried the accusation, they tried the car, everything. But when the soul is there to survive, it survives. It's the same. You decide to have a cancer. And if your decision is to remedy that position, even if it happened by accident, you can still survive it. Is the will to exist, and the reason for existing justifies the purpose of the creation of the soul, and secondly, what the soul has guaranteed to take position in the dimension of physicality. We can't go anymore to say, I had a cancer tumor of brain or zinc in my blood. We have to understand what is the reason for it. Even accidents, you can change position because it's you who decides, and you change the salinity, and you change direction in solidification of the cells in the body of the man. And then is your process correct? Have you taken the right zinc, the right salinity, the right amino acid? Everything is there. You saturate your body with alkalineness in any shape or form, but the right alkalineness for the right cancer, for the right structure of the material. There is a fundamental misunderstanding in the world of science of today in comparison to Keshe Foundation teaching. When you take the blood out, the body of the man, instantaneously, you bring in the forces of the inertia into operation and the matter state of it. That's why you can say zinc, but in the body of the man is not zinc in the matter state. It's in the plasma, it's in the field transfer. And this is what you got to learn. And why do you get a cancer of the brain? Because of the zinc. But that zinc, what has changed the salinity in the brain of the man? What emotional direction through the fields of the blood has come in that changed the salinity? Salinity itself is a magnetic field strength. It's what we call salinity. In the world of matter state, we call it more or less inertia. If you create the right inertia and the field is there, you can absorb CO2. In the same bucket, you change the zinc to galvanized zinc plate with iron inside, you produce CH3. It's the same copper plate. You just change. If you change the salinity, you get a slightly different color. It's the same in the brain of the man. And the doctors and the physicians have to understand the new understanding. And that's what it is. If it's the zinc, how come it solidifies in the brain? What has changed? What emotion has created that position? Or what gravitational magnetic field has changed to create the salinity change that leads to solidification? None of the doctors today look at the cancer in all aspects of the salinity, the plasma technology, understanding of the creation of the fields in the body of the man. Cancer is something which does not exist except man through his own emotion or creation of new condition of the fields creates. Accidentally will happen, still can be overcome if you can know what to do with it. I understand this fully and I live by it.
Mr. Keshe, sorry. So
any other question? In these teachings on Keshe Foundation TV, as now we don't have the restriction as YouTube, they can bring the YouTube down. We start teaching the true essence of the teaching, the actual use of the technology, but let's still be mindful that YouTube can play games or whatever. But in essence, we don't need to worry about it because everything is recorded. Bunch of people can do whatever they like, but they don't hide, they cannot hide the process of the reality. The Keshe Foundation plasma, what we call technology in respect to Corona, it'll be published very soon as a hard copy to be sold across hard shops, because they can stop us to show it and explain it, but they cannot stop people reading to save their lives. We will promote the knowledge in a totally different way from now on, because you're simultaneously learning on Keshe Foundation TV, as a YouTube, as Zoom, as other things, but now we have new tools. A new security structure will be introduced by the governments who are supporting us, and they're setting up that the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation on a new channels will be hopefully defined, that we can teach knowledge seekers across the world at the same time, and we hopefully will see it. It's the beauty of when you have nations and governments behind you and they set up to make sure that knowledge transferred correctly. What's the next question?
Mr. Keshe, sorry, I wanted to just stress just a tiny bit, my apology. So how could you extract the zinc and increase the salinity of alkaline? I got lost this month. Brain can't catch
Yeah, I was talking to myself for about 5 minutes till they found out my voice is not there.
You were, I
and
really
then
felt.
go over it again. You cannot put a magnet and extract zinc out of the body. You can imagine what's going to happen. But you have to understand what composition of the fields of energy is what you call food or material or composite fields to create to do it. In the world of the plasma technology, I will not handle it that way. There's a totally different way to handle cancers, but at the same time, you have to consider the emotional aspects of what created that cancer. If you're asking me for you to give you a magnet for zinc, sorry, it doesn't exist because your brain is still producing it because you haven't solved the emotion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
If it was a bullet, I can show you. If you've got a shrapnel in your body from passing a car and the nail goes through your heart and it's near the heart, you want to take it out, we can show you because that's matter state. But when it comes to these kind of things, you have to understand the emotion. You have to understand what created that condition.
Wouldn't the elevation help zinc and CO2? Is
the elevation only comes with zinc and CO2? Or That soul needs bigger elevation. This is part of the knowledge we have to understand. It's not coming so easy. Mr. Keshe said you put this in and the whole zinc moves out of the body of the man.
So would the patch help?
What's the next question?
Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
You're welcome. You see, this auditorium studio is much easier to work with. A little bit noisy, but it's good. In the next one, we can do a marathon. You can walk as much as you like. What we're trying to do in Keshe Foundation is we will release from next few weeks on. We already spoken to the head of the Keshe Foundation TV, Neil, and knowledge seekers who are behind for programs, that to organize interviews with your scientists, with your leaders, diplomatic or political, and we bring them live and we record it in the conference calls with a number of the scientists or politicians to discuss the Keshe Foundation technology and new science in a way with them. And you can organize it if you have connection to your leaders or in any shape scientists, space scientists, speak to the Keshe Foundation news people in your language or near you languages or Universal Council members. And we pre-record these in the studio with them sharing with us. As you see the screen in the back, we'll split to 4 or 5, 6 people we can bring in and discuss the matters. And then we announce these interviews when it's going to be released, and you will understand more of it. And you start sharing it. As I said, the beauty with the Keshe Foundation TV is you are making the news. It's you who develops it. If you got the talent in organizing interviews with the scientists in your country, with politicians, with people who have come up with new innovation, which matters to us and can change the position, we are prepared to talk and bring them in, let them explain it. The technology is not all Keshe Foundation technology. We look at the science as a whole, that how we can interact with it. You see a disaster, go to your news people in your language, which already now I think is about 20 odd of them. Gradually this week has grown by the Japanese, the Turkish, the Russians, the Georgians, and 1 or 2 more. Togo has joined in. We have an open Nigeria on, and they start seeing if you see problems, pollutions, or something that the new Keshe technology can help. When you bring the politicians, we can discuss it, maybe to find a solution. You have to build up this station. I'm here for a very short time. And then, as I said, we're spending more time in the background to create the condition of peace and the spread of the technology, and gradually are fading into the background, except in teaching and negotiations for what we are looking for to achieve, but stay at the realm of the Keshe Foundation. As President Nixon said, the buck stops at this point. Daily run of the Keshe Foundation now is passed on to people who are competent, has been running the foundation a long time, but still overall control and running of the Keshe Foundation comes to the board of management of the Keshe Foundation. There's very few people who've been with us, and they make decisions in different aspects, and we go to different people, different managers. And we're trying to bring more and more young people to come in to make decisions to take over. At 62, 63, I want to have a beautiful time to be a grandfather and a father and enjoy life, not to spend all time behind the screens trying to. It's your time, it's time for a new generation to bring the new technology out. It's very interesting. Nowadays, when I speak to some of the knowledge seekers, say, oh, Mr. Keshe, I'm 3 years older than you. I'm 2 years younger than my age has become the barrier, or what they call it, the scale. Which way do we go? No, we are still young ones. My family all lived into their 80s and 90s, so I still have about 40 years to go, hopefully. But in essence, we want to promote the technology in a structure of the government to change from the top. And a lot of my time will spend that way from now on, because I have set the foundation up in the correct way. It's in the hand of beautiful people. They know what they're doing in every aspect. And I'm there just as a guideline. If need be, help me, and gradually build up. And we see it with a lot of developments. And in a way, we are there as old people, as Rick and I and others in our patch, we call it, we are there to give a hand when they need be, but still see the youngsters in their 40s and 30s and 20s gradually taking steps to run the foundation. I don't own it. I have no attachment to it. I'm just here to serve and see how we can serve humanity. Any other question?
I'm not sure if SZ had their hand up again. I think perhaps I'm opening the microphone if necessary there.
Sorry, that was an accident. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. And we've got a couple of other questions here. A question from Paulo that came up earlier. If there can be no delay in the deep space between action and reaction, how and when will we have conditions to erase the errant actions of the past? Since until now it took up to 2 generations to erase these consequences. That is, sometimes the grandson had to pay for his grandfather. This tolerance was given by God so that civilization could evolve. Now, has that tolerance been taken away?
If you have heard the recent past, I have explained in a very easy way. I was talking to some of the Islamic theologists, or people are well versed in this. They said in the Quran, it says 40 years, because 40 was a very, very big number. Nobody lived, if you lived into your 40s, were a very old man. I mean, so we know about when they talk about Noah, they say he was a very old man, but he actually maybe lived 50 years. Living 50 years those days was a long, long time. It was 4 generations. And as I said, we are only 60 odd. We're expecting to live another 40, 50 years. So is understanding of it, and to that process in what you wish to understand to do with it. And we are responsible, as I said, if you listen to one of the intros, in what we create and the children we have. So in a way, the code of conduct goes through the soul of the man. And in time, man does not be his grandchildren, but in the process of the time will take to the grandchildren to the soul find a balance. But as I said, 14 days is enough time to settle the books of our own conduct. And in so many days, the 14 days, the process starts. And in 14 days, sometimes the balance is achieved. But those who do whatever knowingly, then they have to pay the balance of the souls in the long term, long run, because they have to learn what they've done. Sometimes it takes 50 years, 60 years for the books to be balanced. For people who put in prison by mistakes, by deliberate acts of lies, it takes 40, 50 years for the balance of the books for you to end up in prison. When you deprive a child from a father, or you deprive a mother from a child, then you have to pay for that, because you touch the soul of the child, which affects him for the rest of his life. And these are the things which we do when we see. And people who think you can get away with it, long way to go. They start nowadays paying with their own time. And many times we become the judge, the jury, and executor, because the time comes to the soul of the man itself to balance itself. And those days that you had to wait, I do what I like, my grandchildren pay for it, is long gone. And you sit for your own books, because now the soul has to start its own term, and the term and the condition is in a very, very different way. And if you look at one of the teachings of in one of the path of belief, they say, if you remember, they carry the body from one country to another now to be buried back at home. With a path of belief, they say you do not transfer the body 1 hour from the point of death, which means if you died somewhere, you cannot carry the body to another continent. And I explained this, there is a reason for it, because the man who made the rule understands or understood at that time the new advancement in the science which will come. 1 hour, I can bring you back from 2 or 3 other galaxies, maybe universes, back to Earth. Then the Earth become a burying ground for all those who had a grandfather or a father from Earth. So we have to understand the ethics behind it and the understanding of it. And in so many ways, even 1 hour for settlement of misconduct is too long. And in a way, as I always said, if you're asked and you're given, you have not done wrong. Because if you are said no to and you're taken, then you've done wrong. But if you are given in asking, it becomes part of you. It's not your right, but it becomes a way for you to settle the soul for the next motion and interactions. And those who go to stop this or use it when they can, they pay with their own ways, because this is the way it's going to be. You cannot give and take whenever it suits. And the process is very easy. You cannot take without permission, be it the soul, be it a piece of bread. And if you do, you are responsible to answer to it, but not 40 years and 400 years anymore. We've seen it, and we see a lot of those who broken pay heavily with their own soul. And that's the balance of the soul. It's not having a fear in understanding what you've done, you have to correct. Any other question? Never work with the fear. Understand the consequence of your own conduct.
Mr. Keshe, we have a question from Angel in YouTube. Who asks,
we have a, I think, 16 minutes video made to play, or has it been played? The Brazilian was already played on it. Any other question? I hope you enjoyed your first Keshe Foundation TV Thursday teachings. And we used to do a lot of these live presentations in Trani and in Italy. We tried to do it here a few weeks ago, and we had to stop it. And now with the Keshe Foundation television, I try to be here some Thursdays. Otherwise, the teaching will be still on the screen the way we have done for past years. And it'll be on the whiteboard, because this is not for me to be here every Thursday, 9 o'clock. If it happens, we are in the studio, we are, and the condition is right for us to be, we come, that we don't give a chance to the others to abuse, they knowing at this time we are here. Because in this process, we allow others to come in and teach. Gradually, Thursday teaching, while we teach, we bring other knowledge seekers, that the expand of the knowledge can carry on. And it's not just on Thursdays, every time, the same place. We've done this for 8 years. And Keshe Foundation Television is an online program, but every Thursday we are here to share. And we see what happens and how we can share knowledge in a very correct way. Is there any other questions? Or
Did have a question about from Sean, who's asking, are there any plans for audio books where a human actually reads the books and it's produced that way so people can listen?
We don't have any plan. We have not considered it up to now. It has been done to become a very good storytelling books, but not at the moment. Maybe
Okay.
something for Keshe Foundation management to think about.
Or perhaps someone would like to sponsor such a project, because it would be quite a bit to put together probably.
We are talking to some people regarding different aspects of the publication of the books or whatever, but everyone has his own view. And we have to see how it comes. At the main moment, our priority is bringing the books into publication, because up to now, we published, now we brought a team to promote the Keshe Foundation technology through the books, through retail shops, most probably, and through Amazon. And the whole of the Keshe Foundation will be revamped in a totally different way. The new team is in, the new knowledge seekers, Universal Council members, they're all working together to, now that we have sown a seed and what I call the plant has grown, for it to give beautiful flowers. You will see huge exposures of the Keshe Foundation internationally in different aspects, especially from the knowledge point of view. And as I have told you, I'm moving more into the what has to be in bringing peace between nations. This will take time. And it's not the time to only make systems or whatever. As much as time I spend in research and development, a new phase of teaching internationally through universities, and progressive interaction of the government and scientists to make one nation, one planet. Out of it, I have received a beautiful news in the past 2-3 days, where the governments now, they want talk. They want to exclude or inclusively talk with certain governments in developing certain technologies. And then we always try to share. If they do it, we do it together. And this takes time. And as I said, I have handed over the Keshe Foundation running day-to-day of it to the others who are more competent and they know what they're doing. And gradually we all make mistakes, but mistakes will be good because we learn from it. Shall we call it a day?
Sure, Mr. Keshe. It's been quite an experience. The studio looks beautiful there, and it's great to see you at the whiteboard and using the studio and everything. It's a beautiful situation, and we welcome the KF TV into the world here. Thank you very much.
It's a long way. If you remember, we used to have a camera on the table and keep on changing pieces of papers that we were drawing 8 years ago.
Yes, in the kids knowledge seekers workshop, that was part of the process, and
yep.
It was actually quite effective at that time. That was some of the best times back then.
Yeah, there was a lot of papers, a lot of pens.
Whatever works.
Thank you very much for today, and we'll say goodbye to you. Hopefully, we'll meet again next week, somewhere, sometime. And we step towards what we call the development of the technology in a beautiful way. Thank you very much, and see you next week.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.